Welcome back again, working overtime in this biatch, to another episode of the Vlogcast. I got my boy Malcolm X, aka Scotty Tribune, aka Dynasty Mere. What? Look like Ralph Tresvant. I'm sorry.
You need a man with sensitivity, a man like me that can hurt you.
Stick the vlog in there. Stick the vlog. No, but I'm glad to have you back on the show, man. I've been missing you. You're missing me. We're so far away in time zone difference, but good brother to have. Search for Uhuru. He's also from my city of Sacramento. Yeah. He used to be a Crip, but Jesus finds everybody. He finds everybody. But listen, man, we wanted to talk about black media failing. Obviously, everybody's heard about what's happening with the Ebony.com issue. With having paying writers for 4 years, and you actually hit me up about this topic, and we wrote about it actually on our website, the negromanosphere.com. Mumia Ali, aka Obsidian Podcast, talked about it. What's your whole take, man, on this whole media thing, Ebony.com and the failing left and all that stuff?
I just think that the main reason, and I want to start off with this. I think every black person should read John H. Johnson's book, Succeeding Against the Odds. Now, John Johnson was the actual founder of Ebony Magazine, and Ebony and Jet actually.
Really?
And yeah, and it was started off as Negro Digest. And so one of the founding principles of Negro Digest, which is now Ebony Magazine, was pretty much to serve the best interest of black people as a collective. Mm-hmm. And Ebony has completely gotten away from that. And basically what they're doing now, focusing on, white liberal talking points, mm-hmm. from gender bathroom, this transgender bathroom situation, to sanctuary cities, to swirling, stuff like that does not benefit the black collective. So once they got away from that, once you get go away from your foundation, you're bound to fail. What's going on right now? And I think what Ebony and a lot of these black media sites, what they were counting on, and kind of because Ebony's been failing for a while now, but what's kind of been keeping them afloat is you have Barack Obama in office, so recover everything that the liberals left has been talking about, and pretty much what the liberal left has been telling them to, give the black community, which again doesn't benefit the black collective. But now that Hillary lost, which was also going to be their lifeline, because same thing, to have access to the White House, they'll, kind of be the voice to black America, what, the liberal, the direction they want to control and send black people in. But now since she's lost and Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck, they pretty much have no more lifeline. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of these writers are now upset because they were expecting that, okay, we write for Ebony, we get on, we get access to the White House and, the correspondence dinner or whatever it's called and all this other stuff. But, again, Donald Trump is like, fuck y'all. No reason or purpose for Ebony in a lot of these black legacy sites, because again, they're not serving the best interests of black people. And that's what it is. You're putting your sexual orientation over, black wealth building, black entrepreneurship, mm-hmm. Ending that, you're putting feminism and sexual orientation over that. And, you have to look at this. Who subscribes to Ebony Magazine? Do you got an Ebony Magazine subscription? I mean, how are they making money? You know, they were bought out by a company called Clearview.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's completely imploding, and there's no one over there. From my understanding, from reading John Johnson's book, his daughter was heavily involved in the company. I have no clue where she's at. So pretty much you have Jamelia Lamu, I think her name is, who has completely ran that company to the ground. Just imploding because, again, they were banking on Hillary Clinton to be in the White House, and that was going to be their lifeline. Same thing with the Roland Martin types. You know, just pretty much the black liberal left that knows that knew Hillary Clinton wasn't shit, but Hillary Clinton was going to pretty much provide them with a paycheck or opportunity. You know, they were willing to sell the black community as a whole out, pretty much what a lot of these black Democratic liberals have been doing since since black people went Democrat after. Now, John F. Kennedy was a Democrat or Republican?
Democrat.
Right. So basically, I think you talked about it before. When John F. Kennedy convinced Martin Luther King to to convince black people to vote Democrat, you know, we've been getting played ever since. Now, I'm not saying vote Republican because I don't know neither party could offer any type of viable solutions to black people. But, you know, I can see why some black people are like, forget this liberal left stuff, I'm voting conservative. Like, I understand. I don't agree, but I understand, you know, especially if you're stuck in that paradigm. So.
But let me ask you this. Let me see. Am I echoing here?
You good.
You good? Am I echoing in the background, you guys? Okay, I think I'm cool now. Let me ask you this, man. Ebony.com, or Ebony, not even Ebony Magazine, but even Ebony.com. This was a place, you know, if you have a lot of talented, I know you're a writer, you're an author yourself, self-published many different genres of books. Ebony.com was a place that if you were a talented writer and you could not get a job, Ebony.com was a place that you could go and write for. And don't get me wrong, you know, you have websites that typically do not pay you.
Right.
You know, if you want to submit an article or want to write, that's different. But from what I understand, Ebony was telling people that they were going to pay them and did not. And what really brought this thing to a head was a white woman actually told on Ebony.
Which is crazy, but keep going.
So, I mean, what does this have to say about the state? And keep in mind, Ebony.com is known for shitting on black men, talking about they don't want no broke man. But, you know, there's plenty of articles like, dear broke men, we aren't obligated to date you, but you bitches cannot even pay your own fucking staff.
Right.
What does it say about black female business? I mean, what does it say about black business as a whole? Even though Ebony might not be owned by a black person anymore, what does it say about Ebony in black media as a whole right now?
Well, again, you have to read the book by John H. Johnson. Read that book, and it's just I don't know what happened because when he passed away, I think his daughter was supposed to take over, and then, you know, I have no clue what happened. But to get to your point or your question, we have to separate black feminism and empowerment. It's completely different. You know, black feminism is gutter. Nothing empowering about it. You know, when I think black empowerment, I'm thinking CEOs, you know, taking over the C-suite, you know, creating opportunities. I mean, when you speak to when you speak to black women who are about black empowerment, it is all about being honorable. I think that's the main thing. When you read John Johnson's book, Succeeding Against All Odds, it's all about being honorable and serving the best interests of black people as a whole. Same thing with black women who are on black woman empowerment. It's all about being honorable. Not loyal. They're not honorable at all. They're gutter. So this is what you get. So you have feminists controlling Ebony Magazine, and now people are surprised. Because again, when you take away the loyalty, ability, I mean, you get a situation like you have right now. So that's why it's imploding. Because again, you know, they were hoping that the liberals were going to come and save them, but they bet on the wrong horse. And instead of focusing on the best interests of Black people as a whole, that liberals don't do, you know, they're now imploding. So that's what it is. But like I said, we have to separate, you know, feminism. And I want to tell Black women this again. I'm not a woman here act like I'm an expert on Black women. But I just tell Black women, there's a difference between Black feminism and Black woman empowerment. Now is that difference. I mean, when you're dealing with Black feminists, there's no loyalty, there's no honorability. You know, they will literally, if you just, I mean, this is what you have to understand about Ebony. Guess who's writing at Ebony? All of these Black feminists and moist dudes trying to shut down you, are trying to shut down Minister Jap, that gossip all day. I mean, Ebony has turned into a satire gossip site. Ebony is no different from, you know, the gossip magazines you get when you check it out of the
grocery store.
You're at the grocery store.
Right.
I mean, it used to be a respectable magazine that focused on the Black collective. Now they're primarily focused on feminism and sexual orientation. If that's your thing, that's cool. But again, that's for another magazine. I mean, right now we have to focus on the Black collective, building Black wealth in our communities, you know, stopping the violence, you know, just building. That's what we have to focus on. But instead, their priority is sexual orientation and feminism. You know, pretty much what you see as far as Black liberal Democrats today. So.
Well, let me ask you this, because I mean, I know that Black people, I mean, you know, I can't say all, but look at Boyce Watkins, okay? And I made a video about Boyce Watkins a long time ago, maybe about a year ago. Boyce Watkins is a man who has a PhD in finance. I think he's claim to fame is in the year that he graduated, he was the only Black person that had a degree in finance. But when you look at Boyce Watkins' channel on YouTube, Boyce Watkins is a gossip mill. I mean, this is what he does. He's like maybe media takeout, right? And the reason why I think that people like Boyce Watkins or even Ebony Magazine, they will say, well, the reason why we make this type of content is Black people do not like highly articulated building type things. They don't like to read. They're not. Black people are into drama. They're into gossip. So this is the reason why we're in the business to make money. You know, it's almost like rap. You know, if you rapped about positivity in the community, are people going to support you? Are people going to support you? She's talking shit about IQ. You know. So what's your response to that?
Okay, so I'm a firm believer in like number one, you have to have balance. So I can understand why something might be some type of gossipy, but unfortunately, like you said, in the Black community, there's like an attack, or people who are intellectual and smart, they get discredited. I don't know why. They don't get a platform. Dude, you have to kind of give, and not on some world star hip hop type shit, but you have to kind of give Black people what they want in order to give them what they need. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So it's just the difference between Ebony and a Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins has a lot of value. He offers a lot of value on his site, on his page, in my honest opinion, as far as wealth building, wealth creation, the Black business school, etc., etc. Ebony wasn't offering none of that. Not completely offering that. And again, they were getting, like Tariq Nasheed would say, shea butter Twitter. Twitter took over Ebony. And this is why Ebony is failing now. That's what happened. Shea Butter was a feminist Jones and all these other dusty Twitter figures, they took over Ebony, and now you see the product of that is now it's completely imploded. And I just feel bad because John Johnson, the direction he had Ebony going in, he has to be rolling in his grave right now.
Right.
I mean, John Johnson was the first Black publisher, major publisher, or I think the first Black publisher in America. John Johnson was one of the first rich. I mean, he was one of the richest Black men in America, and you just see now what his legacy has came to. And I'm just kind of surprised why his family, you know, his daughter or whoever, did not step in. They didn't step in soon enough because I mean, Ebony is pretty much. I mean, I hate to say it, it's done. You know, last person I knew that is subscribed to Ebony was my grandma, and my grandma passed away back in 2010. So, you know, I just think they went in the wrong direction. Okay. But again, like I said though, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it's just unfortunate. You kind of have to have that gossip to bring us in, but then you got to give them what they need. Does a good job of that, but Ebony wasn't doing that at all. Like in fact, if you will listen to like Jamelia Lemieux, I think that's how you say her name, an interview she did. In fact, I want you to do this. People who are watching this, listen to Boyce Watkins, and then listen to Jamelia Lemieux on The Breakfast Club, and that should tell you right there. Like Boyce Watkins was offering value, Jamelia Lemieux absolutely nothing, and it's like, oh my God, you are running this Black institution, media institutions. Oh my God, I just knew it was gonna fail. In fact, I was gonna do a video months ago on Black media is dead. But at the same time, Oshay, it's a great opportunity now for people like yourself, Minister Jab, even Boyce. I know you don't see eye to eye with Boyce Watkins. I love Boyce Watkins. Jason Black, I know you don't see really eye to eye with Tariq Nasheed, but it's a great opportunity for you guys to come in now and fill in as Essence, Jet, even Black Enterprise. I mean, they're pretty much, I mean, it's a wrap, you know, unfortunately. So, oh well.
Yeah, it is. Let me do this, you guys. While you're in the chat, thank you guys for supporting the channel. I know I've been doing a lot of videos as of late, trying to drop them in here. What I'd like you to do is to go ahead and like the video. It's going to take a little bit of an intermission here. So once again, thank you guys for supporting. I believe that we had a person that dropped a few dollars here in the chat. Let me shout this brother out. Eric Bird, thank you so much. And all of you guys, if you're in the chat, we want you to go ahead and leave your email. That means if you're not subscribed to the Negro Manosphere, we're talking about Black male media, drop your email there so we can get you subscribed to the site. All right. So go ahead and do that. So Chance, I don't know if you subscribe. God Mode, I don't know if you subscribe. Black Cherubim, Majestic, Edward Anderson, Kamala 80. What's up, OG Kamala? If you guys are not subscribed to the Negro Manosphere, we're like the only game in town for Black male media. We talk about Black male issues specifically. So like I said, it's free to subscribe, support Black male media. We say whatever the fuck we want to say there. So continue to drop your emails. I'll get you subscribed to the site. And also, my man on here is Search for Uhuru. Okay, Search for Uhuru. He has been to Africa several times, and his channel deals with vlogging in Africa and dealing only with Pan-Africanism issues. So hold on a second.
And that's Search for Who, SEARCHFORUHURU. Search for Who.
I banned that motherfucker John D. Anna because he always comes in here talking about I can't hear you, trying to fuck the chat up. That's why I got your bitch ass out of here. All right, let's go back here, you guys. I just put his name in the chat. Subscribe to Search for Uhuru. Okay, brother. So we want you to go. He has a lot of good content. Let's kind of keep it going. Now, what's about this? Dynasty. These guys. I mean, the fact that he's one of the richest guys in America, Johnson. why can't you pay your writers though? I mean, this is the thing. Like, why is it that, you know, a guy like me, I mean, I'm not a big time YouTuber or anything. I'm, you know, 2 small channels. How is it that we are paying our writers in the Negro Manosphere, the majority of paid writers that we have, and Ebony.com is not paying theirs?
Well, John Johnson, he died back, I think, in 2005. So, you know, I have no clue who's running the show over there. But, I mean, you don't pay people, you don't have any money. Or are you just greedy? You know, so it's either greed, which I think is a common problem when you're dealing with Black entertainment. I mean, because you got to think about it. Like, I watch Vlad TV sometimes, and you hear these Black artists talking about how, you know, they're getting screwed by a lot of the labels that are owned by white people or Jews, and how they're getting screwed. But then they go start their label and screw their own artists. You know, so I just think a lot of it is greed, or, I mean, they just don't have the money, or they thought they were going to get away with it. And then when people started, you know, asking or pushing them like, hey, where's our money? It was like, look, we don't have it, but we have this opportunity for you where you could, you know, probably come to the White House with us or have this opportunity. But no one's calling on Ebony. Nobody is like, you know, Ebony is not a distinguished, so no one really cares anymore. Like, no one's, you know, calling Ebony to cover their event or cover their situation. Or in fact, Jamila Lamoo was on Breakfast Club pretty much begging Charlamagne the God for a job or to collaborate. So it's just, they don't have any money. They don't have any, they're losing resources. That's part of the reason why they got bought out or sold. And I mean, they're struggling. I mean, you can't pay people when you're struggling. So that's what it is. But I guarantee you, Jamila Lamoo's getting paid still. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, like the C-suite and the executives are still getting paid though. That's what's crazy. But the writers not. They're just trying to screw them over. And then when the writers ask for the money, they try to play the, we don't have it, but we have another opportunity for you. You know, because a lot of these writers are just desperate for attention. So they'll compromise themselves for pretty much anything.
Right, right.
I think about it. They're getting paid like $50 for an article. I mean, God. I mean, from Ebony, just $50 from Ebony.
I mean, if even that, man. I mean, to be honest, a lot of time people will write for Ebony for free because obviously, if you write for Ebony for free, then you know, sell books. You know how the game works, you know. But for Ebony, yeah, man. I mean, you know, yeah, probably $50. I mean, there are guys that, I mean, Alan Roger Curry gets paid more than that writing for me.
Right, and that's just crazy. So, you know, it's like I said, legacy Black media is pretty much a wrap. Hate to say it, but oh well.
Let me ask you this, because I know Ebony is a publication that's, you know, pretty much for African Americans. But I mean, I know that you've been to many African countries. You talked about Kenya. You've been to Tanzania. You've been to several different places. What can Black people do to reach a global Black audience, like a magazine or some type of work? I mean, you know, I'm not talking about like the Francophone countries, obviously it's French, but I'm talking about your English Black countries, you know, Ghana, you know, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa. Wouldn't it be great to see a Black media source that Blacks all across the world could relate to and just read?
That's what I'm trying to create. Resume, and I'll get into that, you know, another day. But thing is, like with John Johnson, the founding principle has to be focusing on the worldwide as a whole, and focusing on the issues that affect all Black people globally. With this magazine, with this, I guess, with this publication. So that's how you do it. So you have to make it somewhat where it draws them in. But you have to say, okay, what we're going through over here, you're also going through over here. So when we come together as a collective, come up with some solutions, you know, you put that in a magazine, some type of publication. So I think that's what we should focus on. It. I think, you know, building wealth is the issue that we focus on globally. you know, taking control of our resources. You know, here, our major resource was hip hop. In Africa, major resources is diamonds, gold, all types of natural resources. We don't control it. So I think number one is focusing on a plan where we all control our own resources and what we're known for that makes us unique. You got to think about it. The only thing Black people really have that has not been taken over is the barbershop.
Right.
That's the only barbershop.
Oh man, it's so true. It's so true. Okay, let me just take a little bit of a break. I got 141 people watching now. I need 26 more people to go down and like this particular video. So get us to 100. We have a really, really good show. My man Search for Uhuru is with us today, aka Dynasty Mir. What we're going to do right now is continue to talk about infrastructure, opportunities in Africa for global Black media. This is something that the brother has went over into many Black countries in Africa. And I mean, because there are some Arab countries there. And so the brother has seen from his experience what's over there. Like I said, we had Al Grease yesterday. I don't know, have you heard about the movie Frustrated, Dynasty?
I haven't, no.
Okay, so there's a movie called Frustrated. Black Men, it's one of the most popular Black male documentaries that actually was an answer to why Black men are in Brazil. So the guy Al Grease performed that documentary, Frustrated 1 and 2. I had him on as a hangout yesterday. He's really big time. Check him out, greasefilms.com. Somebody you should definitely want to network with. But let's talk about the opportunities that you've been seeing in the African countries. I know you've been to both Francophone in the former British colonies. What are some of the opportunities that you think that we are missing and that we should be able to take advantage of as African Americans?
I think infrastructure, as far as building. I know a huge issue. Well, they're coming in and building infrastructure, but I know there has to be, especially here in Atlanta, there's a number of construction companies that can, be awarded these contracts over in Africa. Everything from IT, just like me, I do sales. So I'm thinking about putting together some type of sales program for companies that need to better their sales forces, as far as being being a consultant on those lines. So I mean, pretty much whatever you're currently doing right now, and train and teach people how to do it. So there's whatever you're doing, if it's in the medical field, construction, from personal training, as far as if you want to build a gym. I mean, they need gyms in Africa. So, I mean, pretty much everything that we have here, anything that you're currently involved here in America, that can spark something, or you can help and bring that skill over to Africa. So it's limitless, the opportunities over there.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question, because you're going to have the naysayers, and I know you traveled extensively to Africa. Your whole channel is about that. What about the person that says, well, I mean, I don't know how hard it's going to be to get in business over there. I'm an African American. People are going to take advantage of me because they're not going to look at me as one of them. What's your response to people that have that sort of a rebuttal to somebody like you who's visited over there many times? How do you respond to somebody like that?
I mean, I know people. I've developed relationships with people over there, especially in Senegal, Kenya, those two countries to be specific. But I mean, everything you're afraid of or you're concerned with in Africa, as far as building, I mean, that can happen here in America when you go out and go out on your own. I mean, I know people here in America who had business partners or whatever who got stuck for millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So over here as well. I think it's just, you have to just find the right people. You have to find people who are willing to put as much skin in the game. And again, it's all about just knowing the right people with anything. And that's not just Africa. That's just, you plan on doing business. It's all about knowing the right people, having the right connections, knowing people you can trust. And then also making sure all everything distributed evenly as far as what you're putting in, liabilities or whatnot. So
Okay.
yeah, so much worried about that.
I guess I want to ask you this. You've been in these countries, right? And we're talking about building specific media structures, things of this nature, all of that. And by the way, let me give you this first. If you guys want to know, wake the hell up. His link is right there in the comments. Somebody asked. There's so many different countries in Africa that have been separated by colonization of language. So you have the Portuguese in Mozambique, in Angola. You have the Francophone countries, which is most countries in West Africa. You have Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Togo. Well, if you're talking about North Morocco, you have Senegal, which you've been to. And then you have, Ghana from the British, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Where does a black person decide that they want to go? I mean, if they speak English, Liberia, Sierra Leone, where should they start? What's the best place for an African American to start off in?
You have a lot of African Americans that go to Ghana. They start off in Ghana. There's a large African American community in Ghana. If you feel more comfortable starting off in a language that primarily speaks English, I mean, good to start. But for me, I would start in Senegal because that's where all my are. And then also too, you have to understand a lot of these, I guess, African publications, like they're being ran out of Europe and in England, in London and France. So the African media conglomerate, you don't even have to be in Africa. I mean, now you'll be more credible the next year and you're there, but you have like Afropunk and all these other sites that they're not even in Africa. They're doing this stuff from America and Europe. Mm-hmm. Which I'm not a fan of Afropunk, but it's whatever. But because they're on that Ebony Magazine liberal stuff too. So
let me ask you a question, because we have a question from Voltron 512. He says, can you discuss China's role in investment in Africa? Heard they're buying up a lot of stuff there. And I know you've been to several countries. Have you seen the Chinese building?
They're pretty much building Africa for the most part. And it's kind of twofold. So I was in Mali this past December, and like usually what will happen, you'll be driving around, you'll see construction sites, and then you'll see some black workers, and then you'll see two like random just Chinese guys just there kind of overseeing it. Mm-hmm. And so I asked them, I said, I know there has to be some black construction companies or something here in Mali that could do this work. I mean, there's just too much African ingenuity where Africans can't build for themselves. And he told me straight up, he said, look, guys, the government will award these contracts to some of these African conglomerates. They'll start the work, then they'll take the money and run. So then the Chinese come in and they finish the job. So a lot of that is going on. Then, of course, you have the corruption. But it's just, again, it's no excuse, especially in a place like Africa, where Africans shouldn't be building their own infrastructure. I mean, they have the power, they have the ingenuity, they got the money, it's there. But for some reason, I don't know if it's like an honorability thing or, just finishing a job. But for some reason, they just would rather just coming in and taking up all these contracts.
I mean, let's go into that, because and Gemini, you get what particular country are you talking about? So put your country you're talking about, because the dollar is valued in different parts of Africa depending on where you're at. But I mean, it goes back to the core of this, because we're talking about the same thing. Africa is suffering from the same thing that Ebony.com is suffering from, which is corruption. You know. And shout out to the brothers on the Negro Manosphere, you guys who donate, come in and share your articles, or basically come in and like the videos like you do and donate on Patreon. The one thing that the Negro Manosphere is doing, we're not perfect, but we post when we say we're gonna post. The brothers give their money. We put out the content for the brothers. We try to operate as corruption free as possible. And I think that there is a fucking problem when you are giving the black people business and the motherfuckers don't appreciate it. Like, listen, I want you to respond to this because I have a boy from Kumasi, a homeboy that lives here. He goes to my school. He's from Kumasi, Ghana.
Yeah, I'll be in Kumasi in November.
Okay. So you mean it's the home of the? I think it's the Ashanti people. I'm not sure.
The Ashanti Empire.
So here you have. He says every time that Ghana gets a new president or a new senator, you'll see a bunch of buildings that were constructed and then they stop. They're half done. Like you said, you have a lot of this people building up things and then you don't complete it. And so, I mean, talk to me about that. I mean, again, because I think what Ebony is suffering from is the same thing that what that Africa is suffering from. I mean, it seems like we're in the same fucking boat.
Again, it's all about not focusing on the black collective as a whole. That's the issue. You got some presidents in Africa or leaders who would rather focus on themselves, and get their pockets padded than focusing on developing an infrastructure and a better life for the collective. I mean, that's really what it is when you're dealing with corruption. You're not focusing on the collective and you're more concerned with your own pockets. So, like you said, Ebony Magazine, same issue. Either they're just dead broke or either they're dead broke or they're just not honorable. Because again, I guarantee you all the CEOs and editors at large or whatever you want to call it, I bet you they're still getting paid, but it's not the small people that aren't getting paid. Same thing in Africa. I mean, I guarantee you the presidents and the chief of staffs, I guarantee you they're getting paid still, but the people aren't benefiting from it. So again, it's just African issue with not focusing on the collective. And, they rather have a nice, shiny Mercedes that's, dropped off from Europe or China than making sure the people have proper infrastructure as far as roads and clean freaking water. So, I mean, that's the issue. Or electricity, or gas, So it's just not focusing on a collective and focusing on yourself if you're in a position of power. That's the issue.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Speaking of corruption, okay. Now I want to talk about how women ruin governments. Now I'm talking about Liberia. I know you're very familiar with Liberia, and I know you had Charles Taylor and Samuel Doe. I mean, is probably the worst leader in any country in West Africa. But I mean, you get somebody like Johnson, Sirleaf Johnson, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, who obviously has she's Liberian, but she's educated in America, went to Harvard. Culturally, she's Americo-Liberian or African American, if you want to say it. People are saying her praises, right? In Liberia, average income no more than $700 a year. Here you have a president that's making $80,000 a year, and if you compare that to the U.S. president who gets maybe $400,000 a year, and maybe the average person makes $40,000 a year. I mean, Sirleaf Johnson is making 100 times, or if not 200 times more than the average Liberian citizen. And I'm going to do a video on that coming this week, so you guys be on the lookout. Corruption in Liberia. Not to mention that every student last year failed the University of Liberia entrance examination, while her staff is driving in Land Cruisers, expensive automobiles, sending their kids to private school. I mean, this is what you have in countries like Liberia, countries like Sierra Leone. What's your take on something like this in Liberia and how the country is suffering because of people like Sirleaf Johnson?
I don't think it's a male or female leadership issue. I just think it's just a greed issue. Because I mean, pretty much what's going on in Liberia is going on in just about every country in Africa. Mm-hmm. About not thinking about the collective. I think what needs to happen, man, pretty much every leader, they need to just do what Thomas Sankara did. That's how they need to rule. pretty much Thomas and Carr pretty much cut out all the BS funding. You know, I think he sold the plane or whatever that they had for the president. He sold everything. So African leaders have to get back to that, because you know how can you feel, because you as a leader, you know, you're a reflection of your people. It's kind of like a parent. You're a reflection of your kids. So, you know, if you're a leader and your people are fucked up, how can you walk around, you know, you got nice vehicles, you have a nice salary, but people don't even have water, like you said, they're making $700 a year. So I just think every African leader, they have to be put in a position where it's like, okay, we're going to Thomas and Carterize you until all the collective is doing better. About getting a raise, or you know, getting some of your government spending for you guys, or salaries or whatever back. So I wouldn't say it's a female leadership thing. It's just an African leadership thing, period, all across the board.
And, okay, I'll agree to that, because I actually contacted the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Liberia, because I was thinking, well, you know, once I finish med school, I would like to do an intern year in Liberia before coming back to the States, just to you know give back. And then so I actually put the physicians, and I'll tell you how fucking corrupt Liberia is, right? So it took them like, it's a country that needs doctors, right? Needs new doctors. Took them like 7 days long time to respond to my email. They don't have a working phone number you can actually call and talk to somebody. I mean, this is a country though that wants, you know, people to come and work at their hospitals and stuff. Let me tell you what they said. So basically, for questions that they have, let me frequently asked questions. So I'm on lpgmc.org. Now, keep in mind, this is a country that needs doctors. Now, it says, how much do foreign students pay for tuition at the medical residency training? You will pay an annual fee of $5,000 a year. No problem, okay? But when you ask, how much will you be paid once you graduated? What do they say? Want to know? What will my salary be after completing my residency training program? It says, the government of Liberia is committed to increasing the salaries of graduates of the medical residency training program. In other words, it's okay for you to pay them to train. They're not going to guarantee you getting any fucking thing. Do you understand that this? Now, the president of the country and the governors and all, they are going to be paid. Okay? Right. But a country that is 4 million strong, okay, only one real developed city in Monrovia is, from what I understand, is shit. You don't grow your own food, so everything is high. You have no stable electricity, and you have doctors on strike because you can't pay them. Everybody in the country has failed the college entrance exam, and you are saying that you cannot guarantee that the doctors that are coming out of your medical university will be paid. You won't even give a salary as to what they'll be paid. This is what you deal with in Africa, and a lot of places. I mean, if you guys don't believe me, I'll post a link here so you can go read it for yourself. And then what we'll do is you guys can look at it. If you don't, think I'm lying, I'll post it for you here. And what we'll do, just take a little bit of a quick break. Oh yeah, the doctors are always on strike. Let's do this, you guys. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Go ahead and like the video. I have 138 watching. I need 10 people to take us up to 122. That's the first thing I need you to do. Is to do that. And then second thing, after I get 10 people to go ahead and like the video, we have our good buddy Dynas Amir from Search for Uhuru. Not only does he have this great channel, but he has several books. Okay, I know you niggas don't like to read, but y'all gonna have to read today. Okay, so let's get it set up. Let's go ahead and look for him. I put his YouTube handle here, so just go down, click on his name, search for Uhuru. There's a wonderful channel, a lot of good topics. The brother is actually going around with like a $15 million camera in Africa. I get robbed any minute, so he might not come back. So, okay, here's a question. Somebody says, "Hey, I'm interested in Africa, but there's a problem. Can we buy land or not?"
It depends on which country. I know, like Senegal, you can buy land. Mali, you can buy land. You have to be a citizen or a national to buy land. I think that's like Tanzania. I want to say even Ghana, I think, is another one where you actually have to be a citizen. But you could buy commercial land in Tanzania. So if you're trying to build, like a hotel or a restaurant or something like that, where I guess you'll boost the economy or hire people, then I think you can buy land for commercial purposes. But land for, I guess, private purposes, I don't think you can in Tanzania.
Okay.
Country, if you can buy land or not, and be a foreigner.
Okay. You guys keep dropping your emails to subscribe to the Negro Manosphere. Julian, I don't know if you're dropped your email, but let me ask you a question though, Dynas. You've been to Senegal, which speaks primarily French. Why would you prefer Senegal over, I don't know what's close to Senegal, besides, is Mauritania close to Senegal?
It is. Mauritania is a shithole.
Don't nobody want to go to Mauritania. You fuck around and get fucked up over there. But what's the closest English-speaking country to Senegal?
And excuse my language, I think that was too harsh. I wouldn't recommend going to Mauritania. I mean, maybe if you want to visit. Yeah, I don't like describing my African countries as shitholes, but you still have basically Mauritania is more of an Arab country, so they look down on Black Africans, and they're still trading Black Africans as slaves underground. So I wouldn't recommend going. I'm not a big fan of Mauritania at all.
Okay. Well, actually, because Senegal is right next to Gambia, so Senegambia, which was a lot of slaves. Why would you pick Senegal over like Gambia, over Nigeria, over those places when you can't really speak French?
Well, I think it's kind of what you're familiar with and what you know best. So I know Senegal best because I just the people I know and the connections I have. Mm-hmm. For some people, they might feel more comfortable with Ghana. I mean, for some people, they might feel more comfortable with Gambia. But me, I'm more comfortable in Senegal because of the people I know and the relationships I've built. So I choose Senegal.
Okay. Well, I guess I gotta get it started. We got some thirsty niggas in here. Not me. I'm not thirsty, but I know I ask you this almost every time. The brothers out here, they want to know what is the women's looking like out there playing?
I would say this. Had probably the most beautiful women, but I went to a Sierra Leone Independence Day party last night. Oh my God, there were some beautiful women in there. So I got to hit up Sierra Leone. Man, yes.
Go in the room. I can't.
Yes.
What? No, it was a Sierra Leone party in Atlanta.
Yeah, in Atlanta. I went last night, and
why you didn't call me, nigga? You should call me.
Oh, I was right there. Yeah, my bad. You would have caught a flight. Probably would have got to Sierra Leone quicker than Atlanta. From where you at?
How many folks was there, man?
It was a cool little crowd, but like I said, there were some beautiful women. Oh, goodness. I would say out of all the African events I've been to, like especially here in America, that right there, man. Oh, man, whew.
It was thick?
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a nice event, man. I enjoyed it.
What's up with the Senegal women, man? I mean, I saw the Senegal females playing Serbia, and it's playing in the Olympics. I saw, I really wasn't too hella impressed. But when you got there to Senegal, I mean, what were you seeing as far as how the women treated you and your exchanges with them? I mean, what did you think of the women in Senegal?
they treated me great. I mean, I've never had any issues with Africa with the women. I mean, they treat you like a king. So I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
What was different about Kenya?
I mean, Kenya was cool. I mean, I like Kenya. I love Kenya, but I was primarily when I was in Kenya, I didn't spend a lot of time in the city. I go to Kisaria, which is where the Maasai are in the villages. So I spent a lot of time in there. So I really didn't get the city life like I do when I go to Senegal. I'm in the car. So
Okay. Now I heard places like Dakar, very, very expensive, especially for tourists. How are some of the things like the electricity, getting a cell phone when you were there, exchanging money? Because I heard at Senegal, it doesn't matter where you exchange money at, it's the same rate, at the airport or in the city.
no, that's not true. That's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, the exchange rate. I mean, it just depends. Like, it's best to have somebody who speaks Wolof and someone that knows the car to meet you at the airport because they will try and hustle you, or they might charge you higher on the exchange rate. So I usually exchange my money at the airport because my buddy knows people, so I get a good rate. But yeah, it's like I said, it's best to have someone that you know in these cities when you get there, or if you've never been in any of these cities before, connect with a bed and breakfast, go so they can meet you, and then they're usually pretty knowledgeable as far as where to go and get you set up and established in the city once you're there. As far as getting phones, I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, you can buy a cheap throwaway phone, or better yet, all you have to do really is go to Walmart and get like a prepaid phone. And then when you get there, just buy a SIM card and throw it in your phone. As far as electricity, I really didn't have issues with the power outages or anything like that. It's cool as far as those aspects.
Okay, let's talk about the situation with the power outlets, because obviously you come from America. Like my first mistake traveling, like many people, I thought my outlet was going to be the same as it was in Europe, and I got to Norway in the airport, and then it's like, oh shit, I can't plug my shit because the shit is different. What did you think, like when you first came to Africa the first time, how did you charge your devices?
You have to get an adapter. So I bought an adapter like at Radio Shack before I came.
Okay.
And just use that. So, or like when the first time I went to Africa, when I was in Dar es Salaam, I sat at the hotel and they had an adapter at the hotel. So you just got to go to and get the adapter.
Okay, you guys make sure you do that, man. Get the adapter, because when you go to Africa or you come to Europe, when you're charging shit is going to be different. So if you're on a long flight and you think you're going to be on Facebook stunting in the damn airport, you're going to be on 5% battery. You have a layover for like 4 hours. You're going to be mad as hell. That is one of the worst things to do, is to be in a damn airport. What up, Reynald Cherry? Be off in a damn airport, and you want to charge your damn phone, and you're in a different country, can't call nobody, can't tell nobody. You have to, keep that universal adapter on your player, because that shit comes in handy. Let's see, more questions. Okay, so you went to Tanzania. I saw you in Zanzibar. What were the women like in Tanzania, and what did you like about Zanzibar when you were there?
The women in Zanzibar are beautiful. I absolutely love the women in Zanzibar. Tanzania, primarily Zanzibar is like my number 2 favorite place in Africa. Zanzibar is absolutely beautiful. The women are beautiful. The food is freaking delicious. So people who are planning on going to Zanzibar, they would love Zanzibar. Absolutely, the culture. But I think for me in Dar es Salaam, what I loved about Dar es Salaam is that in downtown Dar es Salaam, they would make the Muslim call to prayer like every early morning, and that would be like my alarm. And just hearing it, which is so beautiful and peaceful, as far as them singing it over the loudspeaker. In Arusha, which is in the northern part of Tanzania, which is close to, you have Serengeti, which I've done. You have Kilimanjaro, which I've climbed. You have Ngorongoro Crater. So you have a lot of that if that's what you're into in Tanzania. So, you can go to Tanzania, do Zanzibar, climb Kilimanjaro, do Serengeti as far as going on safari. So.
Do you ever see yourself, I have a question about, I don't know if you've ever been to the Congo, or are you thinking about going to the Congo?
I'm going to the Congo, absolutely. I was supposed to go a couple years ago, but I ended up going, I think, to Namibia instead. But I would definitely be going to the Congo in the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. And the Congo is right next to, the Congo is right next to a bunch of places. Rwanda, it's right next to Uganda. So
like Angola.
Angola, yeah. So it's just like, it's a huge country, huge, big landmass. Shout outs to the Congo. Pretty much, let me do this, you guys. Go ahead and like the videos. Let's see here, get everything set up. I really appreciate everybody that's in the stream. If you guys have not dropped your emails to support the Negro Manosphere, to subscribe to the site, go ahead and do that. And let's continue. I don't know. I'm just saying, if I have your email, Blackest Night, I don't know if I have your email. So we want to get you brothers subscribed to Negro Manosphere. We post every day. It's the best blog in America for Black men. So drop your emails, continue to do so. And also, let me go ahead and get a search for Uhuru's particular chat handle. So let's do this. You guys go ahead and subscribe to him. Search for Uhuru. Go in the bottom. All right. We need to go ahead and get him subscribed. He's a great channel. So continue to do this. What up, Sheldon, Dr. Sheldon? Black Lion. I don't post every day, but we post on the blog every day. Our Hardy Write articles. So tomorrow we have an article from Al Curry. So, but anyways, man, Dynast, is there anything more else you wanted to talk about today in the stream? Or?
Support the new Black media, like Oshay, Minister Jap, Jason Black. I like Tariq, I like Boyce Watkins. Support the new Black media. Old Black media is pretty much, they're at a civil war right now. Basically, there's not going to be a winner, just losers. So I would say that, follow me on social media, search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow me here on YouTube, search for Uhuru. Go to Amazon.com, search the name Dynast Amir, that's Dynast Amir. Check out my books for Indigenous African fashion. Continue to support the new Black media.
Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna try to get Dynast back on. Obsidian came in the chat. What's up, Obsidian? Oh man, I didn't even know that he was on here. Wait, you know what? What I'm gonna do? Do you know who Obsidian is, Dynast?
I don't. I've heard of him, but I don't.
Oh my God! Wait. Before we, because Obsidian shut up. Hold on a second. This is gonna be it. Obsidian, do you want to get on this, man? Because he wrote an article on the ebony.com, hasn't paid writers for years. He actually wrote a whole article on this. Let me see if he want to weigh in. That way you can hook up with him, Dynast. That's another connection for you. He writes for the Negro Manosphere. Actually, it was his kind of idea to have a site like the Negro Manosphere, so he helped me. We'll put it together. He used to write for the White Manosphere, returningkings.com. Let me see if Obsidian wants to join in the chat, because I know it may be a little bit late. Obsidian, you got anything you want to join in, man? I can send you a link on Skype if you want to get on this. Everybody wants Obsidian to come on. Let's see here. I'm waiting on his response. So, what up, Robert Moore? You old musty ass nigga. No, what's up, dog? Dynast, you still on?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, hold on. Let's get Obsidian on here, man, because this is gonna be interesting. Just for a minute. Y'all know I gotta jack off. I ain't got all night. Let's see. Okay, here you go. He ready. He ready. Okay, send me the link, nigga. All right, hold on. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be even crazier because he's gonna be. All right, let's do this. And that way, it's good that you can hook up with Dynast, search for Uhuru, and both of you guys can basically connect here. All right. So let me know if you get it, Obsidian. So got the link. And let's let these two brothers connect. And I think I don't know. Search for Uhuru, Dynast. Did you? Several guys when you was on our hangout last time. Several dudes did subscribe to you, right?
Yeah, a couple did. I know one guy hit me up and said, "Yeah, I came to you. I followed your page through Oshay, so I appreciate that." Okay, Oshay, I need to go ahead and send you some cheese real quick. Hold on, y'all donate to Oshay. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Oshay, what's the link, bro?
I'm gonna just send it back. You know how I am. I'm gonna send it right back. Don't even do it. Give me one of them.
I mean, you good. I mean, thank you for giving me a platform. I mean, shit, Ebony Magazine ain't trying to give us a platform, so we need to support you. What's the link, bro? Hey, Oshay, email me the link. I know I've done it before, but email me the link real quick.
From Sacramento, I ain't gonna give it to you. I don't have a link. Not for you.
I'll find it.
Look, listen. Get me a flat top nigga like you. I'm tired of this shit. I'm struggling.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna tell you some funny shit. So back in 2008, I was going bald. I'm gonna tell you some funny shit. I went and got all types of juices and berries. So shit called emu oil. I was taking all types of vitamins, and what I would do, I would massage my shit like 3 times a day, and I was getting scared, not scared, but discouraged because like after 3-4 months, I didn't see any results. I swear to God, after like 5 months, my shit started growing back, and after like 8 months, all my shit came back.
So you mean I got
my shit was fucked. I wish I still had my pictures. I had like my shit was fucked up, and I was depressed about it, bro. Like I was gonna get the surgery situation done. I just got some juices and berries, some shit called emu oil. Started rubbing that in my hair with my fingers, massaging, my scalp, and my shit came back.
That nigga had shea butter, moisture.
Shea butter? No, that's shea moisture.
Hold on a second, man. We got Obsidian. I'm gonna get them juices and berries. Look, I'm gonna get a curl back, nigga. All this shit right here, don't worry about nothing. If that don't work, I will draw my shit on. What's up, Obsidian?
What's up, everybody? What's going on, brothers?
Come on, man. Give me the Elvis microphone introduction, man. You can't just come on here regular. Though.
Yes, once again. It's the one and only Mumia Obsidian Ali. Suck it, bitches.
This is why you can't give niggas money. What's up, man? This is my boy, Search for Uhuru, man. It's funny, it's crazy. We went to the same high school, but I transferred from that high school the year he came in. So we both know the same people from the same city, Sacramento, California. He found me. I'm like, man, Albert, his real name was before Albert Hollis. Y'all don't know. Search for Uhuru was probably one of the top 3 running backs in the state of California. Don't believe me, Google his name. His old name was Albert Hollis. What did you run in a 40-yard dash? Like a 4.42, something crazy like that?
4.3 guy.
4.3. He beat Dante Starworth at every track meet, and Dante Starworth was a first-round pick for the New Orleans Saints wide receiver. He got hurt, but the Dynast got hurt in professional college. So Dynast is a real fucking athlete. He will fuck one of you niggas up. You keep talking shit about that flat top. He will fuck one of y'all up. He will beat your ass with them. Y'all, that nigga's a nerd. No, don't fuck around, man. Don't fuck around. That motherfucker used to lift fat bitches for fun. Nigga. He's a strong motherfucker. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, I was just checking, all the updates and stuff like that, and I saw y'all guys having the chat about the situation with Ebony, and so I decided to, go ahead and check in and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was basically saying, man, that the reason why Ebony's going through the situation they're going through is because they got away from their founding principles. I suggest that Oshay, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just going to take a piss real quick. Keep talking, brother. You're doing good.
Okay. Okay. He's saying that Black people should read the John A. Johnson, who was the founder of Ebony Magazine. When he founded it, it was called Negro Digest.
Yeah.
He has a book called Succeeding Against the Odds. And I think that book and really study the founding principles of what Ebony Magazine was supposed to be and look at the buffoonery that's going on now, I mean, it's going to implode. No, it's already imploded.
Oh man, it's off the chain at this point.
No one subscribes to Ebony Magazine anymore. I mean, it's being ran by dusty feminists and moist dudes. And basically what happened, when John Johnson originally founded it, was he was focused on the Black collective as a whole. Primarily focused on satire, gossip, LGBT community, and feminism, but not Black wealth creation and things that as a Black collective need to be discussed and addressed. They're not even focusing on that. It's pretty much, if you're at Ralph's or Kroger in the checkout line, they need to put Ebony next to Star Magazine. It's just a gossip and satire magazine now. They're not paying, and the reason why they're not paying is because, again, when you read John H. Johnson's book and see how honorable he was, and now if you study John S. Johnson's life, but then you study, the Jamila Lamou's and, the other dusty, feminists and moist dudes at Ebony Magazine, and just follow their Twitter and see how their character is and how unhonorable they are. You see why people aren't being paid and why they're in the situation they're in. So it's pretty much been ran in the ground. So that's
What's your take on this opinion?
Well, I agree with what the brother just got finished saying. And to take it a step further, you have to look at what happened. As he rightly pointed out, John Johnson started out in Chicago. Ebony Magazine got its start on the first day of November in 1945, ran pretty much unabated from that point until the early 21st century, when he finally handed the reins over to others to take care of and stuff like that. And it's been, downhill ever since. Today's column, in my article, I note the fact that, the Ebony, the once proud and, huge behemoth known as, Ebony and Jet and Fashion Fair, they are owned by the same, all comes under the umbrella of Ebony, has been basically lurching from crisis to crisis ever since circa 2011. And this has all been on the watch of Black female leadership. The daughter of John Johnson, Lyndon Johnson Rice, has become CEO. This was reported in the Chicago Tribune newspaper last month.
Hey, Obsidian, not to cut you off. So I wasn't able to fill in the gap between when John Johnson passed away in 2005. I know in his book, he talked about his daughter kind of coming into the type of role. But pretty much what's happened with Ebony since Linda has been, I guess you said she's the CEO of Ebony. What's been going on with Ebony since then?
Yeah, she had just taken over as CEO as of last month. That's what the Chicago newspaper, Chicago Tribune, had reported. But you've had a revolving door of Black female faces in high places for some years now. A number of high post editor-in-chiefs. And you just mentioned Jamila Lemieux, Pepe Le Pew. She's another one that's a formidable name with Ebony. The point of my article was to highlight the fact that you have a major institution, to tell you the truth, in Black American life, which is Ebony Magazine, as you pointed out, was founded by I refer to him affectionately as Old Man Johnson, John Johnson. and he made it into a venerable institution, and it's gone to the dogs on the watch of the sisterhood. That's irrefutable at this point. And the fact that you've had, at least that we're aware of at this point, it could be many more, we'll find out in the coming days and weeks. Up till now, we have a documented half a dozen of freelance writers, the vast majority of whom are black. The one who broke the story was white, as it turned out, white woman. And they haven't been paid going back to the year 2013, according to the piece that was written in The Root that I cited in my column today over at the Negro Manosphere. The arrears amount to as much as $15,000 all total. Wow. With one writer in particular being owed as much as $3,000. So I mean, you know, this is all occurring on the sisterhood's watch. And I raised the point in the article because the main article that broke all of this out that broke the story wide open was a piece that appeared on a website. It's a media insider website called The Establishment, and the writer of that piece, who is a sister and a freelance writer herself, she tries to make this out like it's a racial thing, and I respectfully disagree with her. I think this is a gender thing. And I just found it interesting that while there are female writers that are involved with this, one named Zerlene Hughes, the white writer, her name is Kat DeStefano, I think her name is. I could be wrong on the pronunciation of the last name, but you can find the link in my article on the Negro Manosphere website. In any event, the majority of the writers who have been stiffed by Ebony the Deadbeat Magazine are black males. And so my question that I raised in my piece today on the Negro Manosphere is this: if the shoe was on the other foot and the company was ran by black men and the majority of the writers who had come out were black women, do we honestly believe that that fact would go unnoticed by a lot of writers, particularly black women in media? I don't think so. I mean, look at the situation that's going on right now with Shea Moisture CEO Rich Dennis. He's being raked over the coals over, you know, committing the cardinal sin of trying to make his profitable business, you know, more profitable by expanding into new markets. And right now, black women are calling for a veritable boycott of his company, and he spent the past 25 years catering almost exclusively to black women, and they're spreading around his hashtag, you know, cancel. If black men are running a company and are suspected of doing something untoward, black women won't hesitate to point that out. I noted in my piece today. I mean, you look at hip hop, for example. Hip hop was invented by black men. Many of your successful black men over the past few decades have come from the world of hip hop: Jay-Z, Suge Knight, Sean Puffy Combs, etc. et al. And there has grown up an entire cottage industry of self-styled do-gooders and critics and deconstructors like the late C. Dolores Tucker, academics Trisha Rose and Brittany Cooper, among a great many others, who have taken it upon themselves to quote unquote call out the quote unquote toxic masculinity that exists within hip hop, gangster rap in particular. So I'm arguing that while, you know, it seems like there's never any lack for calling out black men on the carpet in this regard, this Ebony story has been pretty much riding under the radar. And even now, as it's coming out, there doesn't seem to be the same fire in the belly on the part of many of the do-gooders and the social justice warriors to call out black women at the helm. We're constantly beat over the head. I know I was. You know, I'm a Gen Xer. I know I was constantly beat over the head of this idea that, you know, black women got it going on. They going to school. They on the move. They get their degrees. They running businesses and all the rest of it. And here we have a major black institution that has gone from fuckery to fuckery under the helm of black women and black female faces in high places making major decisions. They're making major creative decisions, major personnel decisions, you name it. And they've gone from, you know, pillar to post.
You know,
And there doesn't seem to be, I mean, nobody's calling for them to be canceled. They're calling for Rich Dennis to be canceled, but nobody's calling for Ebony to be canceled. What's up with that?
it's funny you said that. If you notice, no one has brought up Jamelia Lamoot. Nobody has went for since this whole scandal went down.
Now, to be fair, I don't know exactly what her role is. I believe she's an editor, but I don't know exactly what her role is, if any, with regard to the current deadbeat situation. So I don't want to, you know, go into any type of wild speculation on that. If you have some information that I don't, I welcome it.
Well, I mean, I guarantee you she's still getting paid. I guarantee you she's gotten a check. I mean, you have to understand, like, I work for a corporate entity. Everybody, like the people in the C-suite, they all know what's going on. So they all could either make some type of change or play a major role in making changes. I mean, she's involved. So, I mean, they all are. But like you said, you know, there's no one going for her. And then as far as the Shea Moisture thing, I just, you know, I had to disagree. And the reason why I say that is I just think the way they went about the commercial was somewhat tone deaf. And the reason why I say that is you have to understand, like, Black women have been pretty much told that, or the government, and this is under liberal Barack Obama, and they allow corporate America to discriminate against Black women with natural hair. They're not doing that shit with redheads. So if you're a Black woman and you have natural hair, literally, and I could post a link, literally, a company could say, hey, we don't want to hire you because of your natural hair. They're not doing that to freaking redheads. So that's why when the commercial just didn't make sense. I understand, you know, you extending your scope and you wanted to, you know, of course, make money, but it's just the way they went about it was so just like, come on, man, like a redhead not being comfortable with her hair and struggling, like, come on, man, like.
Okay, let me address those points because you raised some good points in relation to the Ebony issue. Okay, so number one, according to Rich Dennis, he's come out before the public. I just want to do a compare and contrast here. So Rich Dennis, CEO of Shea Moisture, has come out before the public quickly. I mean, this thing broke on April 24th. Before the end of the week, he was already before the public, you know, doing the mea culpa, explaining the situation, interfacing with the public. We have not heard from the CEO of Ebony, which again is a direct descendant of the founder of Ebony, John Johnson. She has not appeared on the Breakfast Club show the way Rich Dennis did. She has not appeared on News One with Roland Martin the way. Matter of fact, Roland Martin said that they had reached out to Ebony and they have declined to come on the show. We have that juxtaposition. That's number one. Number two, with regard to the marketing campaign, Rich Dennis explained that little ad that I don't even think it was maybe 30-second ad that went out last Monday was actually part of a much larger campaign in which there was like some 40 different ads that was supposed to run. That was just one of many ads. It was not supposed to have ran at the time it did. It got leaked on Facebook. So somebody leaked it on Facebook. This is what he's saying. Now, I don't see why he would lie about something like that or put his reputation online. Next point, with regard to the redhead thing and all the rest of it. The problem I have with this is Dennis is a businessman. He's not in the civil rights business. The issue of Black women or anyone else being discriminated against in corporate America is not a Shea Moisture or Rich Dennis issue. That is a legal issue that needs to be dealt with in the courts, not for Shea Moisture or Rich Dennis to take on. So if black women are being discriminated in corporate America because of their hair, the appropriate forum to deal with that would be the courts, not Shea Moisture. And again, I'm just pointing out the juxtaposition here. We have raked over the coals, and we have Ebony, which is going to the dogs on the watch of the sisterhood, and nobody is calling for them to be canceled. And they're not coming before the public to explain themselves.
Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here at Obsidian, but let me do this first. I was just uploading my new video, so to come out soon. So let me do this. I want to shout out to Mr. Hurt, $20 donation. Thank you, Agent Dave, $20. Labor and Sacrifice, $20 super chat. I really, really appreciate you. Let's see who we all have in the chat. I see Sherelle. You guys are just coming in. Hit the like button on the video. We have 2 excellent guests. Like I said, search for Uhuru. You know, is a very well good brother. I mean, he's traveling all over the world, traveling to Africa. He's professional. He's very successful in what he does. He's published several books. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because I'm gonna take search for Uhuru's talking point, and I'm gonna say that there are women who are brunette. Because if you think about the stereotypical image for a white woman is a blonde, right? I mean, if you think about that,
definitely ain't a redhead, that's for sure.
Definitely a redhead. So I mean, you know, when you see maybe a brunette person, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of the thing that I can see what both of you coming from. Definitely, this guy is looking to get to a larger audience.
But
right?
let me, Oshay, let me cut you off real. I'm letting you have it. Johnson, he said in his book, like, you focus on your own people and then you sell to everybody else. So I just think the way he went about it is like, you don't alienate your own people, because you got to tell me when has it actually worked where black businesses have crossed over and were successful? It hasn't really worked. I mean, because you even look at brands like Fubu. Okay, everybody misunderstood that it was for us, by us, when it was a black brand. Damn, Damian John came out after the fact when Fubu pretty much was, you know, no one wears no damn Fubu. He finally came out and said it never meant that. He never meant for us, by us. You know, it never was for specifically black culture. But they ran with that shit for years. Ebony was successful when it was focused on the black collective, and everybody went to Ebony. Same thing with hip hop. Successful with just predominantly black faces. I mean, if you get my drift, I just think the way he went about it, for him to cross over or to expand his reach, he doesn't have to do it that way, because for some reason when black people try to cross over, it just doesn't work out. But go ahead, Oshay. Sorry.
I respectfully disagree. First of all, with respect to hip hop, hip hop has always had, while it's true, it started with black men. Hip hop, like jazz music, etc., started with black men, but other races have always played a critical role in its development and popularization. Rick Rubin, for example, in the creation of one of hip hop's legacy record labels and Def Jam Recordings, or Def Jam Records, and the studio Chung King's House of Metal Studios in New York City. Rick Rubin is white. The Beastie Boys were white. Eminem, Vanilla Ice, Everlast, Bubba Sparks. I mean, the list goes on and on with white people. I forget the Asian brother that used to be that made up one half of the Neptune's crew. You know, you had non-black people. You know, Mantronic. I mean, you had a lot of people over the last 30 years who were not Black who played a critical role in the development and popularization of hip hop today. Third Base, thank you. Somebody in the chat mentioned Third Base, thank you. MC Search. There have been a lot of people who have played a huge role in that. Cypress Hill's another example, and they helped hip hop in a very positive way. To today, you got people all over the world. I mean, I'm here in Philadelphia, the home of DJ Turntablism, one of the most famous DJs that we have coming out of Philly, named DJ Cash Money. He literally travels all over the world. In Japan, his face is plastered on trains and buses on the side of them and stuff like that. They love DJ Cash Money out of Yaden here in Philadelphia. Yaden's right outside of West Philadelphia. It's a suburb right outside of West Philadelphia here in Philly. And they love him. DJ Jazzy Jeff is another example. I mean, there are numerous examples of hip hop where non-white people have played a huge role in the development and expansion of the art form. I mean, at every level, from the fan level all the way up. I mean, DJing today, you know, I say this as a DJ turntablist, you know, going back, you know, several decades. Believe me, and I'm getting back into it now. I'm preparing to get back into it now so I can improve my daily podcast, radio shows, and stuff like that. And let me tell you, I will tell anybody out there, y'all young buck DJs, if y'all listening, y'all young buck DJs and turntables, you have no idea how good you have it. Today, DJing is a snap. I sound like an old codger saying this. Back in my day, you had to deal with crates upon crates of dusty records and all kind of crazy stuff. You didn't have equipment that was specifically optimized for turntablism and battle scratching and cutting and stuff like that. You had to modify stuff, or if you could get access to high-end equipment that was very expensive, most notably the Technics 1200 turntables. Today, you can get all that stuff for very cheap, high quality. That is a direct result of other people other than Black getting in hip hop and actually improving it and making it better. What Shea Moisture is attempting to do is to make the product better for Black women by expanding the product, selling more of the product, appealing to more people, which equates to more money to put back into the business to make it even better for Black women. That's just good business.
Here's the thing. I don't think they're trying to make that shit. I think they're trying to make a lot of money. I mean, to make it better for Black women, I mean, I doubt that. But I do believe they're trying to make a lot of money. I mean, I think when any person goes global, you don't make it better for your initial base. You're trying to make it better for the company at large, to hire whoever you want at large. I don't think
example, like FUBU.
Make it better for Black women. It's not possible. But they are trying to make more money. True. I'll buy that. Is he still on?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Let's go back to this brunette thing, because first of all, if the video leaked, and I think this is a fucking cover up, right? You said the video leaked. First of all, I mean, I think the guy. I mean, in my mind, you know how petty Black women are. You make a product for Black women. You know how Black women are. Black women are, you know, very jealous. They have very low self-esteem. You know, this dude knew that video was going to come out. He was going to put it out. It was going to get backlash anyway. So since the video leaked, it's not taking accountability for the fact that you knew that video was going to come out somehow, because you wouldn't have put the money up or paid models for that shit. You knew that was going to come out. I mean, I just think that's a lie. It has to be, because it probably was ran by you. Listen, this is going to be 3 white bitches, one with red hair, okay? And they're going to be talking about this shit on the video. Are you okay with this? Yes. Oh, shit, it leaked. Nigga, no. Just tell the truth. Listen, hoes, I want to take my product to another. You bitches ain't buying enough of my fucking shit, okay? And that's what he's trying to say. That's what he should say. But you're not going to say it. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm not in a position to be a mind reader and try to define. I don't know this man. I never talked to this man. I would love to sit down and talk with him, and maybe that may happen, from my lips to God's ears. But I don't know this man, what's in this man's mind. I can only go by his established track record of over the past quarter of a century. based on that, I don't see any reason why he would suddenly, change midstream and do some crazy stuff that would jeopardize his entire business as what's happening right now. This whole thing is really taking a life of its own. And the real issue here is, and I've said this before, I've done podcasts on this. I did a podcast once called Black Women Do Not Understand Economics. I did another podcast called Black Women Are Social Market, a Sexual Marketplace Socialists. Yeah. The real deal here is that, like you said, Black women have, as a group, Black women have very low self-esteem. Mm-hmm. And that's something, that's not something that, let me just back up and say this. So many Black people in general, but in this case, I'm talking about Black women in particular, mm-hmm. don't understand capitalism, don't understand the free market system, don't understand business. This Oshay Moisture, Rich Dennis, they're not charities, man. They're not nonprofits. Mm-hmm. They're not advocacy activist organization. This isn't a 501c3 organization. This is a business. These people are in business to make profit by offering the marketplace goods and services that they're willing to pay for. So if Black women have low self-esteem, the place to get that dealt with ain't with Shea Moisture and Rich Dennis. Is to get it figured out through psychotherapy. It's the same thing my good brother said about the issue of sisters being discriminated against on the workplace, something like that. That's not Rich Dennis's job to address that. Right. That is something what sisters need to do is get themselves together, organize a class action lawsuit against XYZ corporation that's discriminating against them in terms of hiring, things of that nature, and deal with it in the courts. A lot of Black people conflate business with advocacy or activism or nonprofit or something like that. That's not how it works. And the reason why is because so many Black people, and I'm talking about college educated Black people, so many college educated Black people don't work in business, don't work in the STEM fields. They work in the social service, social worker, helping professions and stuff like that, teaching, nonprofit. They work in these do-gooder type of professions and don't understand how business works. Mm-hmm. This is business. The man is a businessman. He is offering a product or good or a service out on the free market. And that just ain't with regard to Black women. That's with anybody, like any business does. You and I, Oshay, we are in the new media business. We have to go out there and do and punch and do battle with the Ebonys of the world, with the News Ones of the world, with the BETs of the world, with the CNNs and the Fox Newses, just like anybody else. We're not up here saying, please give us charity for those who, listen to our videos or read our articles or whatever. No, we have to put out content that will impel our readers to say, you know what, I'm going to put 5 on it, or I'm going to put 500 on it, or whatever. If we don't do that, we don't make money. That's business. That's the way business works. And this idea that a lot of Black people have, that Black business people, men or women alike, are somehow obligated to also be, the Salvation Army and our confessors or something. I mean, that's insane. And that's one of the reasons why we have so much of the backwardness and fuckery in Black America, because we don't understand how business works.
Yeah, that's good.
Rich Dennis is not a social worker. Okay? Rich Dennis is not a psychotherapist. He's not the next Martin Luther King. He is a businessman.
Okay, and let me do this. Let me go to, because a lot of the points you're hitting on, Search for Who was touching on, in an email before we got here. Let me ask him this, because he's been over to Africa, and this product came from Sierra Leone and Liberia, Sierra Leone, that area. Dynast, how would you have handled if you were the CEO of Shea Butter or Shea Moisture? How would you have handled trying to get into a new market? Or would you have tried to get into a new market?
Okay, when you say new market, as far as sell to folk, I guess, expand it outside of Black people, is that what you mean?
Yeah, what would you do? I mean, because obviously, Nigeria is a huge market. I mean, would you try to, knowing how Black women are, they could be a very finicky customer base. They can support the fuck out of you, but if you do something they don't like, it could be genocide for you. How would you go about trying to expand your operations if you were the CEO of this company?
I would have left it the way it is, and I'll tell you why. I used to put Dax and Murray's in my hair. Mm-hmm. And I had a conversation with and let me ask you this, have you ever seen a white person on a Dax and Murray's ad?
No.
Okay, I had a conversation with a white guy one time. Now, all of his white friends would buy Dax and Murray's because it was a thick pomade. They would use it to spike their hair. Mm-hmm. So, just like with BET, Black Entertainment Television, a lot of white people watch BET. Mm-hmm. Profitable the way it was. So my thing is that you don't necessarily change it because, good value. If you're offering value, and the thing about Black people, once we do something that's popular or trendy, everybody's gonna watch it anyway. Mm-hmm. The Cosby Show, people are gonna jump on it regardless. Mm-hmm. So that's why when I saw the Shay Mosher thing, I'm like, well, I know, like my white buddy said that all his white friends used to go and buy Dax and Murray's hair pomade mm-hmm. and put it in their hair because it helped them spike their hair, even though it was nothing but Black faces. So I think if you wanted to expand it, the thing, it was working the way it was, but now by him with the failed ad campaign, he's now losing money. And he had to come out and apologize. So he really caught an L for it. I would have left it the way it is.
Let me. That's a very good point. A lot of hairstylists, like my girl was telling me, a lot of white, just because you're white doesn't mean that you have a certain texture of hair. And even beauticians, when they deal with Jewish people or certain white people that have kinky hair, they will tell them straight out, listen, you need Shea Moisture. I didn't know this because, like you said, a lot of some white guys like a certain hairstyle. There are a lot of white people who don't have the same texture of hair. You have some white people who have more curly, more rough hair. I've seen white dudes with curly afros before, and their hair just it's just like that. Their hair isn't just straight. So a lot of people, if you're in a hair care business, sometimes they'll recommend products like Shea Moisture, products like that. I kind of actually agree with this because I think that with the Shea Moisture, because your base has been Black for so long, I want to come out and argue with this. It's not going to get a big white share. Let me finish real quick. It's not going to get a huge share of white business more than what you're going to possibly lose. In my opinion,
I agree. It's been Black so long. It's been Black so long that, I seriously doubt that all of a sudden, white people are going to stop buying Pantene and all this other stuff and come get Shea Moisture.
Right.
Unless this is what he should have done. He should have created a completely separate line and then used that, or another company and use that to market towards white people.
I agree.
Okay,
that's what I think.
Let me address three things. First of all, Black Lion is arguing in the chat. He says, and I want to scroll back so I can read exactly what he said. He said, when white people buy out your business, they pervert and dilute it because they don't properly understand or appreciate the Black culture. Okay, so with that being, he doesn't offer any examples. So I'm going to offer some examples. I just got finished mentioning Rick Rubin, who played a critical role in the development of Def Jam Records. How did he dilute and pervert hip hop? Was hip hop hurt or helped by the presence of Rick Rubin?
Question easy. Hip hop's been diluted because, again, who controls the record industries? Like Damon Dash talks about this all the time. You have culture vultures. What's his name? Jimmy Iovine. What's these other culture vultures that control hip hop? And you see the bullshit that gets on these record labels versus what happened to conscious hip hop? It's gone. It's dead.
What happened to it is Black people didn't support it. That's what happened to it. Black people don't support it. Look at the Roots. The Roots have been around. The Roots is from Philadelphia, my hometown. The Roots have been around for over 20 years. I've been to Roots concerts. Every year here in the city of Philadelphia, they have what's known as the Roots Picnic. Okay, I've been to Roots concerts. You want to know the majority of the people who attend Roots concerts? White folks. Okay, not black people, white folks. You look at Talib Kweli. Talib Kweli, one half a Black Star with Most Def. He has been doing conscious rap, and in particular, since that's what we're talking about tonight, with regard to black women and black feminism and all the rest of it, he has been supporting and uplifting and praising black women all his career. And he makes nowhere near the kind of money that a Rick Ross and all these other guys make. You know the reason why? Because it's like what Chris Rock said in his comedy stand-up, and it's true, because black women like the raunchiest, most misogynistic stuff out there. As long as the beat is knocking, they will be shaking it on the dance floor all night. The reason why the Grouch, the Cunning Linguist, Immortal Technique, Talib Kweli, the Roots, the reason why that they don't get as much shine as they should, the late great Jay Dilla, the reason why they don't get all that is because black people don't support it.
Well, now we got to.
Bottom line, we don't support it.
Let me get in on this. I'm gonna take Dinah Samir's point, and here's why. I'm not really a big hip hop junkie like you guys, but I mean Jam Master Jay, Ron DMC, LL Cool J. I mean, before you had your gangster rap, what were black people supporting? They were supporting rap like that, right? Right, exactly. They were supporting a more fun, upbeat kind of hip hop. Now we're going to talk about who made it available for NWA. Who was NWA's manager that gave him a deal? What was his name?
Damn.
What's his name? Come on.
He just passed away. Damn.
Gary Heller, right?
Gary Heller.
Okay. So you get the culture changing from a fun type of, you have a fun type of music going on in the early 80s when this rap's about beatboxing, it's about breakdancing. Come on now, we know that the early hip hop was not about shoot Lil Pookie, shoot Lil Ray Ray. I mean, if you want to talk about who made let me finish.
Gangster rap had been around from the beginning.
Let me finish.
I mean, you can make a really, Criminal Minded. Anybody? Boogie Down Productions. On their very first album cover, you see KRS-One and Scott LaRock, who was still alive at the time, sitting there with guns and pistols and bullets and all the rest of it. So, gangster rap had been around almost from day one with hip hop. The problem was that a lot of black people simply didn't want to support. Like I said, I mean, you had King's Son and Latif Shabazz and all these different people. They were out there, but black folk didn't want to support it.
Okay, let me finish, man. I know you like to just break through, but what I'm saying is there is evidence that black people were supporting people like Public Enemy, people like LL Cool J, people like that. There's evidence of that. You were a DJ, okay? You might have had those guys that were there before, but I mean, come on now, before Grind DMC, Jam Master, those guys were preceded NWA. Hip hop was not about that. What he's saying, the point he's making, is that certain people who were non-black took the culture of what it was initially and allowed a market for black people to have their minds changed to be more negative. That is, and now if you want to see why black people don't support it, well, who's pushing the initiative to change the tone? That's all he's saying, and you can't disagree with that because it's true.
Well, I absolutely disagree with it, and here's the reason why I disagree with it. The line of argument that goes that, and this is something that there's a cat on YouTube named Lennon Honor. I jokingly refer to him as Sir Lennon Honor, the Sisterhood's White Knight. He and I'm using him as an example here. He makes the case that there's mind control and that there's all this stuff going on with hip hop and all the rest of it. The argument is simple. It's not because if you buy into the idea that black people can be kind of like Manchurian candidates, then what you're saying is that black people have no agency of their own. They're basically little more than mindless automatons. Black folks have the ability to choose for themselves what they do and they don't want to support. The bottom line is black people wanted to support gangster rap. Right or wrong, we wanted to. And I think the reason why gangster rap gets so much of the air in the room. I think one of the reasons why the Talib Kweli's of the world kind of take a backseat to the Tupacs is because rightly or wrongly, good or bad, just talked about the NWA, right or wrong, good or bad, you know, the NWAs, the Snoop Dogs, the Tupacs, you know, those guys talked about a side of Black American life that while we don't want to acknowledge is there, so many of us can relate to either directly or indirectly. We either seen it ourselves, lived it ourselves, or we have a loved one who did, or we know somebody in an intimate way. That is to say, a friend, a colleague, or somebody that we live with on the block. We know somebody who lived this. And so even though it's not pretty, it's real. And that's the reason why it caught on so hot, because it's so real. You know what I mean? And it's not pretty. I mean, you know, a lot of Black women have problems with gangster rap, but I've never heard anybody say that what Tupac was saying when he said, "Wonder why they call you bitch," was just straight up untrue. Nobody says it's untrue. They just say they don't like it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That I'll agree to. That I'll agree to. What's your thoughts about this, Dynasty?
No, I mean, women did have a problem with hip hop. You just mentioned the who was the woman, the Black woman, the politician that problem with hip hop that went after gangster rap. What's her name? You just mentioned Obsidian. Mentioned it, and she went after Tupac too.
Oh, you talking about C. Dolores Tucker?
Yeah, there you go. So you did have a number of women that had an issue with hip hop.
Mm-hmm. Let me make a point. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me just make a quick point. Obsidian says Black people supported things because they want to. It's fair enough. But what he's not going to mention is that you are a product of your time. For an example, Obsidian himself admits that people like me and him, without the invention of the smartphone, without the invention of the tablet, we would not have access to the fan base that we have right now. We're talking to people on YouTube. We're able to make money on YouTube. Without these inventions, we would not need these things. Before that, in my mother's generation, there's no such thing. She was using the rotary phone. There's no such thing as pagers. What am I saying here? What I'm saying is you are influenced in the time that you live in, right? Nobody would ever think about leaving the house without a fucking cell phone. Although you can do it, right? You can go anywhere you want without a cell phone. Would you do it? No. You would feel like you're going outside butt fucking naked. This is the thing. This is the whole thing about, in this age, if women and feminism, I don't need a man, was totally different than the other days around. Me and Obsidian make a ton of money talking about how Black women are not the same back then than they are now. Well, you can say they have a choice, but what influences the choice of Black women? Well, the left, right? And so even though Black people have a conscious choice to do what they want to do, yes, you got to also understand that people are not that bright. Now, on average, they're not. Okay, people that are smart like me, Dynast, and whatever, you can kind of think for yourself. Okay, but most people are programmed or influenced by the times that they live in. You cannot denounce the fact that people like Jerry Heller and Jewish liberals who push the same bullshit that put in Black women and feminism, push the same fucking thing in hip hop, they are also influencing the time. So you say they have a choice, but when you have a choice, if I'm pushing you to go to the right, you have a choice to go to the right. But it's damn sure easier for you to go right if I'm pushing you there. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that Black people don't have a choice.
Can I say something else here?
Sure.
Okay, two things. First, I'm just gonna say this. I say this as somebody who has a background in music with, you know, DJing and hip hop and turntablism and whatnot. I'm just gonna put it out there. A crucial reason why the conscious brothers don't, as a general rule, they're notable exceptions, but the conscious rappers, the reason why they don't get as much shine as the gangster rappers, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Number one, their beats ain't hot. Number two, their rhymes are kind of, you know, somewhat lackluster in comparison. I mean, there's no conscious rapper equivalent to Snoop. If you listen to Snoop's 1994 Doggy Style, and you listen to the way that he rides a beat, it's hard to think of a conscious rap. Maybe Common, maybe, but I mean, you know,
explain.
Maybe. I mean, it's hard, huh?
X-Clan, go ahead.
Well, again, X-Clan didn't have a Dr. Dre. X-Clan didn't have a Dr. Dre. And that's my point. I mean, you know, a lot of your conscious rappers just don't have the type of caliber of producers and production teams, and you know, they're just not that great. I mean, you know, I like Talib Kweli. Don't get me, listen, I like Talib Kweli. I always have, but I'm sorry, Talib Kweli and High Tech ain't Snoop and Dre, man. They're not. I'm just sorry, they're not.
Well, I mean,
that's just the plain truth.
What you're doing is pretty much proving what I've been saying, right? And that is, you're gonna go. I mean, this is exactly why why LeBron James isn't the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. He's playing basketball. It's just not the fame. It's not the notoriety in fucking, you know, boxing as in basketball. You said it yourself. You're an everyday brother. You're a union worker. What do you say? Brothers are not motivated to go into school and not get paid. There's no incentive. If you don't create the incentive for conscious rappers to be paid, why the fuck would you do it? And why? Who controls that incentive? Black people don't control hip hop. They just don't. Who owns Def Jam? Who owns Universal? You cannot.
No say.
They don't
in hip hop.
What'd you say?
Okay.
Black people. Okay, just like I'm gonna tell you what black people hip hop are. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you. And Dynast went to the University of Georgia. He was a hell of a running back. I've seen him play personally. Okay, who owns NFL teams? Name me one black NFL owner. Can anybody name me one, please, in the chat?
I can't name one. No,
you can't name one.
I can't either.
You can't. But how many players in the NFL are black?
That's 10%.
At least 50%.
Wrong about that.
More, right?
Oh no, sure. At least 70.
70. Because if you look at your Philadelphia Eagles, I can guarantee you most of those are brothers. What's happening in the NFL is the same thing that happens in hip hop. Yeah. You know, the whoever owns the league and makes the rules, they push a certain initiative. Like in the NFL, it's very feminine, very gay now. So I mean, it's the same thing that's happening in hip hop and rap music. He who has the goal makes the rules. And the thing about it is the reason why black people don't support. Let's be honest. I hate to say this. Black people are not that bright. I hate to say it. But on average, we have many studies that show this. Black people are not the brightest people in the world. They don't need to be all of a sudden, but they're not. So black people are heavily influenced, easily influenced. And you can say, well, they can think for themselves. Come on now. Black people, listen, we don't have that many high caliber blacks who really can articulate on average. Now there's some that can, but let's just be honest. The United States, I'm gonna close here and let you guys talk. When I came to Poland, I thought Poland was a 5th or 6th world country. Dynast Amir probably thought the countries in Africa were not what they were before he went over there. Why? We had been programmed to think, oh, Africa's the jungle. It's gonna be a lion over there to eat your ass up. That's what they teach us. Am I lying, Dynast?
No. Let me address that. Let me address that by first addressing a point that Black Lion 777 made in the chat room that relates to this point. He said gangster rap is far from real. Not everybody in the hood is gangster or selling drugs. It's glamorized and exaggerated. Well, first of all, in response to Black Lion 777, I don't recall any gangster rapper. Excuse me. I don't recall any gangster rapper from NWA to Notorious B.I.G. and everybody in between arguing that everybody in the hood was a gangster or selling drugs. They never argued that. What gangster rappers simply did was just talked about experiences from their point of view. As for the idea of being glamorized and exaggerated, I don't deny that. But then we could say the same thing about just about every era of American life. The Old West, a lot of, your outlaws, your Jesse James and Billy the Kids, there was all kinds of glamorization and exaggeration of the Old West. When it came to the Prohibition era of gangsters, Al Capone and all the rest of it, there was a lot of glamorization and exaggeration there. I think that's more of an American thing than it is a gangster rap or a black thing. I think that the point is still made. I think the reason why NWA and others that would follow them have struck such a raw nerve is because, again, they were talking about the times in which they lived, which was the crack war era, which was a number of things that grew out.
think he got cut off. Are you still here, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm still here.
This is a pretty good discussion.
But it was something that was very real for a lot of people, right? And I'm not saying that is right. And that brings us to the next point that Oshay brought up, and this is a very powerful one. You know, the idea of uplift, the idea of the way to put it in the way of the poor righteous teachers, to say, to be a poor righteous teacher, if you will. That idea came from W.E.B. Du Bois. Everybody knows this. He came up with the talented 10th theory a century ago. And really, to tell you the truth, his notion of art as propaganda to be used to uplift black people and sell positive messages and stuff, that really came about as a reaction to Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God. He didn't like the book. He didn't like what Zora Neale Hurston was doing. He felt that it was almost blasphemous to put out such material, and he felt that entertainment should be for in Black America should be for the purpose. He felt that it was the artistic folks and the people that were higher intellect or what have you, and or training and all the rest of it, that they should use their ability to use art as a kind of propagandistic tool. Now, we all know what happened with W.E.B. Du Bois. Eventually, I mean, he's a socialist, communist, and all the rest of it. And he eventually got so disillusioned that he spent his final years abroad in Ghana, Africa, where he died at a very old age. I believe he lived to close to 100 or something like that. So that idea pretty much bit the dust. Capitalism is what it is. I think that black people are shooting themselves in the foot for not understanding free markets. You know, I say this to people all the time. If you're serious about getting ahead as a black person in the United States, you need to study Thomas Sowell. You need to study his teacher, Milton Friedman. If you're not doing those two things, you're not really serious about getting ahead in American life. And yeah, you do need to have some brain cells firing upstairs. If you don't have that happening, then you're definitely, you're definitely in bad shape. You're up the creek without a paddle. It's that simple.
What's your thoughts on this, Dynasty?
I just think that black people can still be successful without compromising their brand. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, you don't have to compromise your brand. I think what Shea Moisture did is they compromised the brand in the name of $1, and it's backfired. Again, I don't know any brands that are black brands that started off as black brands that I guess tried to cross over that ended up being successful. Mm-hmm. I mean, can someone name one?
I don't think
well, so. I mean, name a company that has earned $700 million in earnings. Name a black company of that type that has done that.
BET.
That is no. I'm talking about name a company. Name a hair care and personal care, black-owned hair care and personal care company that has earned in excess of $700 million in this. And I read this the other night when I was doing my research for my article. Shea Moisture in the year 2015 made earnings in excess of $700 million. So I would ask you and anybody else in the chat room and anybody else listening along to name me a personal hair care and personal, beauty care and home, health and beauty aids company owned by black people who has done the same or better.
Right, but the thing is, they made that $700 million by sticking to their route as far as not crossing over and not compromising themselves. Now, I guess they're trying to get to $1 billion now, but what they've done is shot themselves in the foot for trying to cross over. So again, that's the point. They made $700 million without having to compromise their blackness. That's the point. You don't have to. And so let's see in the next coming year or two, if by them, I guess, trying to cross over, if they make it to $1 billion or $750 million.
Well, I mean, well, what Rich Dennis said in his interview on the Breakfast Club, he said that there are requests coming from his core audience, which are black women, to do thus and so. And to do thus and so takes money. It takes money in R&D. It takes money in being able to put the product out through the supply chains and all the rest of it. And, you know, in order to innovate, you have to have the money to do it. You know,
Yeah, but
and that's another problem that a lot of black folks have, is that they want high post products and services, but they don't want to pay for it.
But they made $700 million. So then now the question is, are they properly investing that money into the infrastructure? They don't have.
Good question. Let me jump into this. I remember when Tommy Hilfiger, I believe this was a controversy when he said, "I don't make Tommy Hilfiger for black people." Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, and that's my point, Oshay. If you look at these, like for example, you look at these European designers openly coming out saying that we are not catering to you black people.
Right.
Still buying it. And you're talking about these European designers are billion-dollar institutions. And they were saying, we're not catering to you black people are still buying it. So that's the point I'm making. You have these white and European brands who are not compromising themselves, who had to compromise themselves because black people were upset and begging, you know, please, you know, I'm a black model, I want to be in Fashion Week. And they were like, no, we don't need you because you guys are going to buy our stuff anyway. And regardless, and the point I'm making, regardless of not, if these European designers decided not to allow black people in, black people would have bought this shit anyway and it would still be profitable. There's no difference. So same thing with Shea Moisture, $100 million company. There's no need to compromise your brand by doing what they did. You would have been fine. But now it's compromised, and I would like to see where this will go in the next year or two.
And also,
my guess is that Shea Moisture will do better than Ebony, which is, you know, going.
Bro,
that's my guess. My guess is that Shea Moisture will come out ahead of Ebony in terms of which one is more financially solvent. My guess right now, in late April 2017, my money is on Shea Moisture over top of Ebony. Ebony is in bad shape, and there's just no getting around it. And it's bad shape due to black female fuckery. There's just no getting around that fact. They haven't paid their own staff, the vast majority of whom are black, in 4 years. They owe at least 15 grand in arrears on at least half a dozen freelance writers. It's just not a good look, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it. Over the past 5 to 6 years in particular, they've had a revolving door of black female faces in high places. I mean, it's jacked. No matter how you it's just screwed. No matter how you slice it, it's screwed. And here we are still debating Rich Dennis, and you know the Ebony thing is going by the wayside. And that kind of proves my point that we'll scrutinize to the last black men's business decisions, but we won't say anything about black women's business decisions. And they're the ones that's touting how great they are at business and education and all the rest.
We've been killing them all night, man. Trust me, we've been ripping their ass apart, all of us. Trust me, but the Dynast is no stranger to criticizing black women, and this is the reason why. I mean, to both of your points, this is the reason why I think we got good brothers like Dynast. Okay, it's the reason why Dynast is going over to Africa. He probably ain't gonna tell you the whole thing. It's the reason why we had Brother Al Grease on yesterday, and you've had him on your show. Is over Brazil. I talked to Charles Tyler for 35 minutes. Charles Tyler is over in Rio. And the reason why a lot of black men are saying, get out, get your yellow fever card and do this, black men are tired of most black women's shit. Let's just say what it is. I mean, Donna probably don't want to say it right now, but that's the reason why brothers is looking to go into different places. This is just the reason why. If you look at ebony.com and you look at how the black church has been ruined, look at how ebony.com has been ruined. You just look at black communities in general. It's no wonder why black men who have means are looking to go the fuck away. I mean, Dynast, how many countries have you been to in Africa? How many have you been to? Count them off, if you can.
Senegal, Tanzania, Namibia, South Africa, Mali, Senegal. That's about 7, 8.
7 or 8. That sounds like somebody looking for something to me. I mean, that sounds like somebody trying to get a brother that's tired of this shit over here. And while he's over there, he's trying to make connection and get the fuck out of the United States. That's what that sounds like. Too many brothers like Dynas who are bright, who are smart, who are tired of these whole shit. That's really what it is. And a lot of niggas don't want to say that because, like Obsidian has said, many brothers just vote with their feet. They don't say nothing. And Dynas is like that. He ain't gonna come out and say it straight. But you have so many brothers that are tired of people that are fucking up, like on ebony.com, that are bullshitting. You have a lot of brothers ready to get the fuck out of here. I talk to them every day. I get emails from them every day. Obsidian gets email from them every day. And you're going to Haiti in what time? You're going to Haiti when?
I'm going to Haiti in September.
Yeah, I mean, it's without a doubt. Shout out to my man tomorrow, bro. Thank you for the donation. Always supporting the channel. Drop me an email, bro. I'm about to email you. And like Obsidian's been saying, black men are voting with their feet, their dicks, and their wallets. Your thoughts, Obsidian?
My thoughts is I'm looking in the chat room and I'm watching the back and forth between Crystal Jackson and Black Line 777, and he at one point in their exchange he refers to her as a coon, and she made a really good point that so you have this call for a boycott of Rich Dennis and Shea Moisture, but these same black women don't call for a boycott of these expensive European designers and things of that nature. I think that's an excellent point. You know, Tariq Nasheed brought up the point that, you know, these same sisters don't call for a boycott of Asian shop owners who kick them in the behind, you know, and things of that nature. So you know, I agree with Crystal Jackson. If all Black Line 777 can say in response to her bringing up these highly salient points is that she's a coon, well, I think we know who won that argument. As far as the current topic, my question is this. You know, we was talking the other night, Oshay, about Crystalline Carrison and Sister Dolomite and Ms. Thang, Sophia Nelson coming up with this organization called Sisters Overcoming Stereotypes. So my question to them would be, will they then take on the fuckery that's going on Ebony? Because I mean, is that a stereotype? You know what I mean? Would they take that on?
Of course not.
Can you say that? Can you say it on the microphone? Obsidian? It's so much better when you say Sister Dolomite. I mean, it just I know I'm asking.
Sister Dolomite.
One more time, man. Just one more time.
Simone 5'6", aka Asia Kelly, aka Sister Dolomite.
How do you do that, man? How do you do that? Because when I plug my I can't actually hear anybody when I plug my blue.
Well, no, I have a special mixing board that I use, special echo box that's on it. So that's how I do it.
Oh, I gotta have a mixing board to be able to do this shit. Oh, I'm learning. Okay. Oh,
you can get a mic that's built in with it, but I prefer having a separate device for it.
Let me talk to you about these real quick. I know it's off the subject, but I know, you know, Dynas, you were a former NFL, you know, not NFL, but former running back, former track runner.
I got that mic too, by the way. I have that. That's the Black Yeti. That's the Blue Yeti Blackout Addiction. I have that mic.
Yeah, that's where I first heard about it from. Was from listening to you because I didn't have a mic for it for a long time. Well, let's talk a little bit about Joe Mixon, you guys. Now,
I on this point, I have to bow out because I don't follow professional sports like that. You know, my thing is I played a lot of it when I was in high school, so I pretty much got it out of my system after that. I played baseball. I was a boxer. I boxed, and I was on the Greco-Roman freestyle wrestling team, and when and I did all that, and I was pretty good at it, and so I got it all out of my system. So talk about football today.
Oh, well, it's not really. Well, I think you might have heard about. Did you hear about this dynasty? Joe Mixon got drafted by the Bengals. You heard about it?
Who's Joe Mixon?
So Joe Mixon, about 3 years ago, He's the guy that made national headlines.
The Oklahoma football player that played for Oklahoma, right?
Broke that white girl's jaw that slapped him. He
Right.
the fuck out of her. And so what happened is he was suspended for a year. He came back and played the last 2 years, did really good. He should have been a first round pick, but he got picked up second round, pick number 48 by the Cincinnati Bengals. Dave Simmons over at the Negro Manosphere wrote a great article on it. And I did a story on it just now. And now like ESPN and so many companies are saying he should have never been drafted. This is ludicrous. The feminists are upset. What do you think about that, man? As far as how they're treating the brother after he has paid his debt to society, and the girl hit him first, he returned the favor. How do you feel about that?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the woman hit him first, you know. And I'm not an advocate. I don't believe in hitting women, but you have to understand the setting. Number one, she was drunk. Word on the street was she called him the N-word.
Okay.
He said, I believe, that she called him the N-word, hit him. I mean, how are you supposed to respond? You know, I know it's a woman, but I mean, you know, we talk about equal rights, and she called you the N-word. I mean,
rights and left.
I don't have any problem with it. I have no problem with it.
Yeah. And so the thing is, you know, this guy paid his debt to society. I mean, he did this. He got suspended for a year. You know, he came back and helped a very good Oklahoma team go 11-2. In Miami and New England, they said no matter if this guy's available or not, we're not taking him due to this. Marvin Lewis, probably who should be fired by now because Marvin Lewis cannot get. Did he get out of the first round of the playoffs last year?
No.
Okay, so Marvin Lewis, who hasn't got out of the first round of the playoffs for the Bengals ever, right? I don't think he's ever been in the second round, has he?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Marvin Lewis, if you guys remember him, he used to be he was the coordinator for the I think the 2001 Baltimore Ravens when they won.
Yeah, the Ravens. That won the Super Bowl.
He's done an excellent job in the regular season. Even last year they went 6-9. The year before that they went 12. So he went to the playoffs 5 straight years before that. He's been there in Cincinnati for 13 years. He has not. Well, okay. He's never won a playoff game, right? So the Bengals really must like him. And this Nick, he actually drafts this player, and I think that's actually big balls on the. Because you know you're already on the hot seat. You've never won a playoff game, and then you take this guy, Joe Mixon. And I think if he makes the playoff and loses again, and the fact he takes this player, he's done. I think he's done. Would you have took Joe Mixon? I mean, as an NFL general manager?
Yeah, if he's got the talent, yeah. My thinking is this: if a individual had a legal issue that has been addressed and adjudicated in the courts, and he has dealt with those legal issues and is now in the clear, then I am considering him just like any other potential personnel on the basis of merit. If he's the best man for the job and I'm able to afford him and I can do it, yeah, I'm going to do it. Because my job as a general manager is to get championship rings and the Vince Lombardi trophy if I'm in the NFL. That's the goal of a general manager, is to make moves to enable the club to get that Vince Lombardi trophy. So if I can afford him and he's free and clear of any legal troubles, he's paid, you know, his obligations and his debt to society, yeah, I'm taking him.
Okay. What about you, Diane? How do you feel about this?
I feel the same way. I mean, if you look at the circumstances, I mean, he was hit multiple times, called the N-word. I mean, me personally, I don't hit women. I would never hit a woman. Even if I'm hit by a woman. But again, he went through the legal process. He was found out. I mean, the legal process is now over. So yeah, I would take it. I would absolutely draft him. Again, I mean, you got to look at the circumstances. He was hit multiple times, grabbed, called the N-word. I mean, what I mean, there's only so much you can do before someone reacts a certain way. I would have took him.
And I wonder how, because the Bengals, like I said, a franchise like in the Patriots, the Dolphins, they need any fucking help they can get. I don't know why the Dolphins didn't take them. The Dolphins fucking suck. They have perennially sucked since Dan Marino hasn't been there, and they sucked while he was there, getting blew out in multiple Super Bowls. But the Bengals, I think that they are a really blue collar, like steels, kind of a city, kind of like one of the last reserves that you would see, like a real tough city, like Pittsburgh, a liberal city like Boston, Massachusetts, where you have Harvard and all of those liberal assholes like that. You're just not going to be able to take this guy. But a city like Cincinnati, which is not as kind of a blue collar city, Kroger's there. I think a city like that can get away with taking him. A city like San Francisco, 49ers could never take him. It's just too much trouble. Boston can never take him, too liberal. So there's only several places this guy could have ended up. Is there any other place you think he could have played besides Cincinnati?
He probably could have went to Dallas.
Philly. Nigga, Dallas take everybody fucked up. That's where he could have went.
Dallas easy.
Oakland,
Dallas, Oakland.
Raiders.
Probably Houston. I'm trying to think who else. For sure, Dallas would have took him and gave him opportunity in a heartbeat. Right.
I'm thinking of other players who've had similar problems. There was a quarterback from Florida State.
Yes. He, I think he's playing like D1 AA now. I forgot his name. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he punched a chick too, and the same thing happened. She hit him. He knocked the shit out that bitch.
Yeah.
Let's see. Obsidian, what do you plan on hearing from what do you think Feminista Jones and feminists will be saying about this young black brother who is trying to solidify his career in NFL after a woman attacked him and he retaliated?
I better not hear from none of them, because if I do, I'm going to torch their ass something unbelievable. I'm going to bring the work of, I'm going to go ahead and appropriate Minister Japp's power and bring the work of God on them if they say anything.
Oh my God! All right, let me go ahead and get the likes up on the video. You guys are on Obsidian. I have 165 people watching. I need 15 people to like the video. 15 people to like the video. We have, I should be pretty late there in the East Coast. What time is it there, you guys?
It's 11 where I'm at, 11:10.
You gotta go to work in the morning, huh? Hello?
Yeah, I said it's 11:10 where I'm at.
Okay, 11:10. Let's get the lights up, you guys.
Same time here.
17. Okay, so we won't stay on too long. You guys have to get up in the morning and do things. So let's get 9 more likes in. I see you got Anthony Brian Logan in the house. All right, 9 more likes and get this. The Raiders took a man from Ohio State who was accused of rape.
The cornerback, their first round pick. First draft pick.
I do a story on that too. Wow, here go the Raiders. The Raiders don't give a fuck. You could kill somebody the night before the draft. They're gonna take your life. That's the Raiders.
Speaking of which, Baltimore could have taken Mixon. They took Ray Lewis. So why not take Mixon?
But that's true. That's true. But I think after the other situation they had with Ray Rice, you probably want to stay away from that. So thank you guys for the 200.
Oh man, did you see what she did to him? Did you see the whole tape? She was hitting them before they got in the elevator. Then she tried to hit him when they got in the elevator. So she deserved to get her ass knocked the fuck out.
Right. And that's crazy too, man. He had just won the Super Bowl, and he has not been in the league since, right? Has he played since then? You guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Has he played since then?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, he hasn't played. He hasn't played at all.
Wow, man. And I wonder if he's still with her.
Yeah, they still married. They're still married.
Yeah, they're still married. Yeah.
Wow.
They're still married.
That's crazy, man.
You know, if I could turn the conversation to one of my favorite topics just for a moment, and we're on this topic. You know, there are some women who really get off on rough sex and really like it raw. You know, like Old Dirty Bastard say, "Oh baby, I like it raw." There are some. No, seriously, there are some women who really get off on that. I'm telling you. So what I recommend for a lot of men, if you got a woman that get down like that, you need to whip her ass in the bedroom. Get you a cat of nine tails. No, I'm serious. Get you a cat of nine tails and rear her legs back and whip her ass until the red welts come up. Believe me, she will be soaking wet. Trust me when I tell you. Don't hit her in the face. Don't hit her on the arms. Don't hit her anywhere else in the body. Her big thighs and her ass. That's it. And she'll love you for it. That's the truth.
Oh man. Or Diane, let me ask you this: what's the like, you know, basically in Africa, are there any like laws against stuff like this? I mean, I know there are, but are they like heavily enforced? What you know?
Not really. It's not really enforced. I don't support domestic violence at all. Against domestic violence, I think it's disgusting. But again, women just have to understand that you can't just be going up aside a man's head and talking shit and then get surprised when he reacts a certain way.
Right.
So that's the thing. And in all these situations, is the woman that was just kept going and going and going and going. And it's like, look, the one day a man is gonna hit back, and then, you know, then you're gonna try to play the victim role. Like, just don't hit. Yeah, I mean, I think of course there's laws, but I don't think it's enforced like that.
Okay, because I know like in like some parts of Nigeria, as long as you pay the police, and you know, I told my girl, you fuck up, taking your ass over to Lagos, whoop your ass. I got a few dollars to spend, you know. And you can take your kids over to Africa and beat the fuck out of them too if they fuck up.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, like I said, you know, like, don't whoop in America, but get them right over there like Monrovia, get that belt out, whoop they motherfucking You know, I'm just saying. Listen, but I ain't trying to keep you guys on too long, man. I really appreciate the chat. I'm just posting Obsidian.
Yeah, we got to do a separate hangout to address what I just said, because now people talking about BDSM and all that. So that's a whole nother topic. We need to come back and do that on another late night. But I'll just say this right now. Sisters in the black community who are a lot kinkier than a lot of brothers realize, and that a lot of the domestic stuff that goes down is really a lot of women being sexually frustrated that their man won't take them back and whip their ass, literally. I'm not saying knocking bitches out. I'm not saying donkey punching. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying is you literally spanking her ass. A lot of women really get off on that. I'm telling you. I'm talking from experience here, bro. Speaking from experience. You should see the 36 chamber type setup I got in my crib. I got all kind of, you know, whips and belts and everything else. You know what I mean? Paddles and everything else. Because a lot of chicks really love that. It's true.
Okay. So I'll take your word on that, player. Listen, you guys, I really appreciate you coming on. Like we still have people. And the thing, I was gonna end the chat. People were saying, "Come on, keep it going." We had a little interesting discussion. So three smart, intelligent brothers. This is what you get on this channel, man. You know, we have a lot of nobody I brings on here is a dummy. Okay, and you see, I have a hangout with somebody. Everybody knows what the fuck they're talking about. You see, these brothers are able to disagree and still, all of us, you know, we don't all agree on everything, obviously, as you see, but we can articulate ourselves, you know. This is the kind of black men that should be in the community, leading people like, you know, Dynas. Like I said, he's been in several different countries. Dynas, what's one of your books, man? What's your link to the site? Because I need to actually get.
Let me put it. I'll put it in the chat room right now. Give me a second.
And Obsidian, I need you to go ahead and link up with Dynas, man. I need you to link up with him. You guys exchange information, because both of you guys are powerful brothers. And Dynas is on a whole nother level in his tourism and his seeing different parts of the world. And if you can check out his channel, you'll see he's out there actually in the field. You know, a lot of dudes are just, we're just doing Facebook, stuff like that. Dynas is in the fucking field. Okay, Dynas is over in the field, in villages, okay, where they ain't got Wi-Fi. He's over there in the field. So go ahead and post it, brother, and I'm gonna go ahead and post it to them. We need brothers like that are actually, out in the field in different places and stuff. And while we're doing that, let me give a shout out to Obsidian real quick, man. For all of you brothers, I was talking about supporting the Negro Manosphere. Obsidian was the one that kind of got me to get on to patreon.com, all right? And I really didn't believe in Patreon up until now. But thanks to Obsidian, he is really the brainchild of so many different things. I really want to thank you brothers who have decided to pledge. Many of you have pledged either $5 or $10 a month to keep the Negro Manosphere going. And the reason why is we don't rely on any ads to pay our writers. Obsidian writes, Alan Roger Curry writes. We are the only black male media outlet that's, you would say, red pill in the world. We're the only game in town. And what you brothers have been doing is amazing. You've been pledging $5, $10 a month. We want to get more brothers on to the Negro Manosphere. That means, I don't know if Jet Mafia is subscribed to the Negro Manosphere for Patreon, the rapper 10,000. Oh, what up, Clutch? Player Clutch, what's up? Mo Geechee. You guys, go ahead and sign up, man. Sign up and support the NegroManosphere.com. Black Lion, the ad on that website comes with the theme. So what happened is the reason why that ad is on there is the Image Magazine theme. It was embedded. We have to remove that manually. We don't get paid off the ad. So just so you know that. And the Discus ads, we don't get paid on either. So sign up. We need 2 Patreons per day. So 2 brothers sign up for the minimum of $5 a month. What happens is you get media of your own voice. Like I said, if you want a media outlet that represents you, hey, pay the $5. We give you good content. We write specifically for black men. Continue to do that. And Sheldon, I know you're in medical school. But $5 a month, if you can swing it, go ahead and sign up, man. I appreciate you. And I produce content on there also. So we have personal content that I have videos over there. It's not on the Patreon. So continue to do that. Edwin, appreciate you, player. Hope you sign up on Patreon. I got content over there for you guys too. Anything else you guys want to say?
No, I want to say this. I think I know we were going in on the situation with Ebony as far as I guess how black women have ruined Ebony Magazine. But I think one thing we have to do, and a lot of people might disagree, we got to separate black feminism from black woman empowerment. So
absolutely. Not all black women are like that, but enough black women are like that. If it don't apply, let it fly, right. Ladies.
Right. So as far as Ebony, though, you're right. Jamelia Lamu, she's a feminist, and you see what happened when they take over. They destroy everything. But you have a lot of black women who practice black empowerment, where you could put them in position of leadership and they will flourish and do well. But again, the so-called black feminist is just out destroying and wreaking havoc and destroying everything. So, because I know a lot of times all black women feel like, when we say black women, they're all grouped in one category. And we're talking about the good ones that are actually sincere and actually putting in the work and actually, doing good for the black community as a whole. But now we're talking about the few that are just ruining everything, but for some odd reason they have a platform, which is the so-called black masculine, non-feminine feminists. Go ahead.
Okay. And shout out real quick to my man Sheldon Jolie. And he's absolutely right with that Dynas. Just signed up for the $5 a month on Patreon. Like I said, when I get my new vlogcast, I'm gonna put all my patrons at the end of the credits, because you brothers are the ones that are dedicating to support, paying brothers like even though Dynas is right first, like Dynas, like Obsidian. Thank you for stepping up to the plate and giving the black man the voice. And yeah, anything else, Obsidian, that you want to say?
I just want to thank everybody once again for having me on tonight. I want to thank you, both of you brothers. And yeah, everybody, please support what it is that Oshay's doing. He's got the Patreon up right now, www.patreon.com/Negro Manosphere. Takes no ads, just like yours truly on my channel. I take no ads. Please head on over and support him. Sign up. He's looking to expand operations. We're doing some things behind the scene. We want to expand operations in the second half of the year. In order to do that, we need the funding, and so it all depends on you. So I want to thank all the people who donate via the super chat, and I want to thank everybody out there who are Patreons right now, and I want to thank everybody who's heading over to Patreon right now to sign up. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Oshay. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
And shout out to my man Dynas, man. And Dynas, he just pledged $10. Dynas got all kind of money though. Dynas got cameras that cost $15 million, man. So I'm
whatever, man.
I thought I had a good camera, Obsidian, right? I brought my camera out. Dynas was talking to Mr. Black. Dynas said, man, my lens cost $2,500. I put my shit down so goddamn quick. I said, fuck that.
What does he got? He either got a Leica or a Hasselblad. Which one?
No, I got the Sony AR Mark II, and then I got the lenses that the G Master lens set up with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got pretty high end stuff.
Yeah, he put my shit down real quick. I said, fuck that. I got a new one, man. Abraham. I don't want to say his last name, but I'll just say Abraham B. He just pledged $5 a month. So thank you, brothers, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, I ain't trying to break the pockets or nothing, but we just keep giving black men a voice. We'll be coming back on Facebook. And Dynas Demir, hope we can get him to come back sometime this week, because I'll have nothing but opportunity and space. We want to keep supporting him, promoting what he's going. So I know Obsidian can come back. Dynas, when can you come back?
Well, that'll be good for me. We could do Monday. See, you in Europe, but Monday night I'll be cool. Like Monday night, anytime after 9 p.m.
Okay.
My time will be cool.
All right, what's that about? If you guys can make it back tomorrow, I can come back. We'll check in with Obsidian. Obsidian, I hit you on Skype real quick. And Dynas, man, thank you so much. I'm gonna hit you on the email, man. I appreciate you, brother. Sacktown stay together, black men working together. I really, really love the both of you guys, man. I really learned so much from Dynas' channel. Dynas' channel, it was one of the reasons why I went and got my yellow fever card, and also Junk Power Video. You had a lot of things influenced me to want to go to Africa, learn more. If you listen to my channel, I've been kind of critical of Africans previously. My mindset has changed when I saw Dynas as an African American going over and interacting with the people in the village. It's just really touching, man, to see an African American to not go into a different person's land, not know them, not know their language, but still treat them with humility and respect. And we need more black men like that. So you changed my idea, make me want to do the same thing, go in the villages, and my trip to Uganda is coming up hopefully soon. So thank you, brothers. And I appreciate all of you. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.
Yes, sir. All right, peace.